Hello, hello. Just working on bunker stuff. I don't know if I can do comments and work at the same time, but we're gonna try. Hope everyone's doing well. Sorry I haven't gone live in a while or posted many bunker renovation stuff in a while. But how's everybody doing? Sorry. Taking out bolts. Sorry our scaffolding's so squeaky too. I don't have anything planned. I'm just working and thought while I was working, and I'm just like taking out bolts. So it's not even really anything that exciting. But I haven't gone live in a while. So I thought, oh, I'll just do it while I work. What I'm doing actually is working on taking out this gray piece, this gray metal. What I gotta do is loosen all these bolts. This part, these are clamped in. So I have to take these clamps, loosen them, take those clamps out, and then I'm just dropping them on the floor. So, hey, if you guys are new to our channel, welcome, welcome. Again, sorry I haven't gone live in a while. Okay, let me see, can I move this camera? Because I'm gonna move over. Let's see here. Camera. See if this works. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I had some free time, so I thought, oh hey, I'll work on this stuff over here. But that's not. Not the easiest thing to do by myself. Let's see will my gloves work. All right. If you guys, so I'm gonna try to work, and if you guys have any questions, I'll answer questions. And I'll just move you along with me. My game today is there's a box down at the bottom of the scaffolding. I'm up at the top of the scaffolding, so I'm seeing when I take off a bolt, if I can get it in the box. Good evening, good evening. Sometimes it takes me a while, like I'm working on a bolt like this, and I realize the bottom of it's moving with the top of it, so it's not actually coming loose. That's kind of happening, but it's getting there. There we go. So I hope everyone's doing well. Just there if anyone has any questions about our renovation, about why we haven't been posting videos about our renovation. I'm going to try to answer them while I work, so sorry if I don't get to them. How much did we pay for our underground bunker? We actually paid less than $300,000 and $320,000. So it's not renovated, but anyway, we were happy with what we ended up paying for it. We didn't pay millions. A lot of sellers are trying to get millions and stuff for their AT&T bunkers, but no. So I mean, for 6,000 square feet, I mean, you're not going to find a house with that many square feet. We never have to worry about replacing our windows because we don't have any. We do actually need to replace our roof, but it's just a small roof. It's like a small, medium, large size shed. Am I getting a lot done? So recently I've had to work on like business stuff. So I haven't been getting a lot done. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Michael. Sorry we haven't been live in a while. So we haven't really been getting a ton done. I haven't been getting a ton done just because I've been working on my company. I have a project that has been a little bit, all consuming, and so I just haven't been able to work on it. So anyway, I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos that Enoch's been doing. Yeah, I've been busy. It's mostly been me as far as like work goes. I just have had to take a break with the bunker, but that's why I have like more of like a 5-year plan than like a 1-year plan, because when I have stuff like that I've got to do, I can just go and do it. Let's see if I can readjust this at all. I've got this little adjustable tripod. There we go. Oh, I just knocked the bottom out of it. So again, sorry I haven't been posting a lot of renovation stuff, but mostly just because not much has been going on. I still have a lot of business stuff. I've got like, over the next couple weeks, I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on for that. But then hopefully then it'll calm down and I can get back to doing more work on the bunker. In fact, I've got a lot of stuff I've got to do now. But, I don't know, I really just wanted to work on things. So it's Saturday, so I kind of justified jumping in and using some of my free time. The ratchet is too small. It's a big ratchet. This is like one of those car ratchets that you get for the big truck bolts and stuff. So this has been great. I love that I got this because it's helped me to get things out that I haven't been able to get out otherwise. I mean, probably right. A bigger one would be work, but you know what? I can always also add a pipe to it if I need a little bit more leverage. So yeah, I'm hoping that business stuff will calm down a little bit after the beginning of October, and that we can get back to more renovation stuff. Oh, you said it as a joke. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's nice though. I got a whole set. It came with like all sorts of different sizes. It was the set that I used to, when we were working on the water heater, to refurbish the water heater, I use this, and it comes, I think, up to 2 1/4 inch socket heads. But I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about all you guys. Been feeling bad that I haven't been on live, or that I haven't had much to show as far as the renovation. Although, you know, if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, we're taking some of the past footage that we captured but haven't posted yet, and we're putting that up on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone and subscribed to us on YouTube, you can go to undergroundliving.tv. The first link on there is sort of like a link tree. The first link on there will be to our YouTube channel. Check that out for sure. Yeah, I gotta do what you gotta do. You know, so we are. If you are interested in seeing more renovation stuff, definitely go to our YouTube channel and see what we've done. Like it's. I mean, everything we post is in the past, right? Except for live stuff. But this is like it's several months old. But still, it's part of the journey, right? Like I feel like I want to, you know, capture like all the stuff that we're doing historically. How much did your bunker cost to build? So originally it cost the government I want to say $2.3 million, which would be like $30 million in today's currency, because this was back in the 60s. However, I imagine that cost also included the equipment and all the telecom stuff that was in here. So it was definitely over $1 million to build in the 60s, which is probably definitely over $10 million in today's, like after you change it for inflation. And they built several of them. So there's several across the country that they built. I'm gonna move us over a little bit. Put this down. I'm just kind of working on my own today. Seeing what I can get done. This is how I move the scaffolding, is I grab on to the bar and just pull myself along. I don't know if that's the best way, but I try to be as safe and careful as possible. Let's go all the way through. But yeah, I mean, we've got 2-foot thick walls and ceiling of reinforced concrete. There is EMP shielding around the entire. I'm trying to find a good place to put this. EMP shielding around the entire bunker. I don't know. Let's put it right here. Maybe. Let's try it. There we go. And we've got 2,000 to 3,000 pound blast doors. And I don't know how much it's going to cost to actually renovate it. Where are we located? We're central U.S. Why do you live down in a bunker? Because it's awesome, right? Isn't having a bunker awesome? It's just it's an awesome space. Like if I didn't save this space, it would have like deteriorated. It probably would have been vandalized. It would have been lost to history. So like I'm saving this space. So I think that's cool. I like that, like when you're up top, you can't really, it does not like it's 6,000 square feet. I think it's going to be a nice home, but up top it just looks like a shed. Do you let viewers come and help? I don't know, I should, because I do need a lot of help. Do you like the gas mask? Yeah, I think they're pretty awesome. They fit well. They give you a really good, like, field of vision. And they seem to fit lots of different face sizes. So I thought that was cool. Hey, welcome from Illinois. Yeah, there's actually bunkers across the U.S. that were made, these AT&T bunkers. Yes, that's why I bought those gas masks, right? Exactly. Yeah. No, I think they're good, and they're sturdy. Like, they're good quality, sturdy ones. Like, I've seen some people complain about the other gas masks being like, cheap kind of China stuff. I just wouldn't trust that in an emergency. Blast from the past. I've seen it. Yep. Actually, some of our friends, before we moved into the bunker, when we had a contract to buy it, we had some friends that, sorry, I'm going to be extremely close while I work on this bolt. We had some friends that came over and we watched that movie with them. They just thought it would be fun to watch. Yeah, that did save us a lot of time, being able to just get those. We actually got some for the entire family. At some point, we should do a photo shoot with the family in our gas mask. But I think you don't want to use the cartridges until. How can you filter nuclear radiated air? So. So here's the thing about nuclear radiated air. For the most part, nuclear particles are, they're heavy, right? So for the most part, they will fall down to the ground. So I don't think generally you have to worry about them in the air over time. So you have to worry about them. So you wouldn't want an air system that wouldn't sort of, you wouldn't want an air system that sort of opens up from the top, sort of like our exhaust pipes, which we're going to use for our air vents. So we're going to have to build something that kind of brings that air or those pipes up and around and then facing down, because those nuclear particles. We do have nuclear filters in the bunker. We've got a whole wall of nuclear filters where some of the baffles are. But I don't know, I guess we may have to get a hazmat suit or something eventually. Yeah, don't open the filter until you need to use the mask. Right, exactly, that's what worked. That's what I figured. I've never had a gas mask, so I'm not exactly sure how to use them. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what the air solution, but my understanding is that the particles will come down. How long will the filters last? I imagine that the nuclear filters that we have will last until they become somewhat saturated by nuclear particles. I don't know if they break down or anything like that. So we might be fine just keeping them and maybe using them somewhere. Not exactly sure. I have been talking to Ron over at Atlas Survival Shelters. He's got some air filtration systems from Sweden, I think it is, the Swedish nuclear air filtration systems. So I've been looking at those. They're expensive though. I think they're between $5,000 and $10,000, somewhere in there, maybe even over $10,000 each. And he was saying I might need multiples for our bunker. So anyway, I have been thinking about that a little bit. Do you have well water? There used to be a well to this facility. It was taken out, and when the bunker was connected to city water, I've heard from people who used to work here that the well kept giving them issues. And so they felt like they were close enough to get the city water and just added city water. We do have a 10,000 gallon stainless steel tank that's buried outside that we're gonna have to probably dig up, and we've dug it up once, and basically there's like a concrete crypt around it, and like this big, huge concrete manhole, a square manhole though, two of them over top of it. But we had an excavator at the time when we were doing the water, and we ran into it, so that's how we found it. Yeah, multiples of everything, I agree. So I know where it is, but the thing is we just barely got the excavator underneath that concrete manhole, and it was big. It was like probably 4 by 4 feet and like 6 inches thick. So we're just like, it was just barely hanging over to the edge. So I didn't want to get too close. I didn't want to stick my head under it for sure, because I didn't know if it was going to, fall down or something. Yeah, on water reserves, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, 10,000 gallons is a lot, but it's not forever. I did watch, if any of you have any of you watched the movie Greenland? So I guess there was, what was it? Was it like an asteroid came? I think it was an asteroid. So an asteroid came and basically destroyed the world, and people were trying to get to this bunker. The main characters were trying to get to this bunker in Greenland. And I think they said they were down there for about 9 months until they felt safe to come up. I don't know how much of that's based on actual science. But I did find it interesting. I mean, the nice thing is when we moved in here, we were kind of like camping a little bit. So, we used a compost toilet. We took bucket showers. So like, these are all things we can go back for. And like, most shower heads use about 5 gallons a minute in your shower, right? So that's quite a bit of water. When you take a bucket shower, you could easily take a shower with about 2.5 gallons of water. So if we had to go back to that, we could. Probably based on the amount of contamination, that's probably true. So yeah, if there was a nuclear fallout, that's probably different than if there's just an asteroid hitting. Although I've heard that asteroids, if there were an asteroid coming to Earth, that it would sort of cause it would release radiation. It would be almost like an atomic bomb. So anyway, I don't know. I'm not, that's just what I've heard. If you guys know, let me know, because I'm curious. I think I'm just about ready to take some of these off. So this is pretty loud when I take these off, because I'm working by myself. I kind of lower them and then I just drop them. How do you buy a bunker? That is like a multi-part. I could get into it, but it's a long process. We need a water recycling system on the space station, like on the space station. That would be interesting. Yeah, I'd have to look into that. About a bathroom after I take a shower, yeah. How do you buy a bunker? Swing and hit the scaffold, yeah. What I do is I lower it down onto the scaffolding, and then I put one side on the floor, and then I drop it. So I try to be as safe as possible. It's just really loud. Are the depth of the impact? Yeah, if an asteroid hit me and I'm in the crater, we're probably just as gone as everybody else. So you don't want to be in the crater. Same thing with a nuclear explosion. People ask me, because this facility was built to withstand a near-miss nuclear explosion, and some people say, well, what does that mean? And I tell them, as long as we're not vaporized in the crater of the explosion, then we should be okay. And if we can survive, because the closer you are to an explosion, the longer you have to wait to actually go out.
They have 20 feet of ground before their roof. Yeah, or two. No. There's actually about 4 feet. So our bunker itself, it's 20 feet of ground is only to the floor. So we've got about 4 feet of roof, 2 feet of roof, about 4 feet of earth on top of that, and then we've got 16.5-foot ceilings. We're in central U.S. But how do you buy a bunker? Let's talk about that. First of all, you have to find one. That's actually one of the easiest parts because it is one of the easiest parts, but it's not easy. You have to know where they are. I know where a lot are, so if you are ever interested, like seriously interested in buying a bunker, I know where several are. Then you've got to figure out the market price, and that's a little bit harder because a lot of people think that they're worth like millions of dollars, and the sellers want like $500,000 to like several $1 million for them, but I think that's overpriced. You've got to look at the condition. You've got to look at other things. So we're looking at another one that sold that was renovated. It wasn't like there's one in Georgia that was renovated to like hold multiple families and multiple rooms and a huge large kitchen and a conference room. I mean, it was like decked out like, a nuclear like bunker for like a small, like several families, right? That one would probably go for more because there was a lot more building involved in that one. But this one that we were looking at, it went for slightly over the median price of a home in the U.S., which is $320,000, and that was completely renovated, right? So that's like the market value. I was looking at another one. The seller, it was in bad shape. The seller was asking $190,000, but it was. I don't think it would have been smart to pay that much because it was moldy. The asbestos tiles were like tucked away in a corner there. They were supposed to be removed when the facility was closed, but they were never removed. There was no electricity, no working plumbing, nothing close to working. Hey, thanks for the flower. I appreciate it. Thanks for the gift. I don't think 190 would have been reasonable for that. I think it was maybe 100,000 would have been reasonable, maybe 110 max for that one. That one's in Missouri. I don't think it's been sold, but it's in bad shape. Like you would have to have another house to work on it. And I don't know if the seller would go for 100,000, 110,000. And that's one of the biggest hurdles of buying a bunker is finding a reasonable seller that will sell it at a reasonable price. They want to throw out the numbers like, oh, hey, this cost the government $2 million, dollars to build in the 60s, so that'd be worth, $20-30 million today. And it's like, yes, but you know what? You can build a brand new factory for $2 million in the 60s, and it would not be worth $30 million today because it's old and it's falling apart. Like there are other factors involved. And would it be worth $1 million? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it'd be worth $1 million today. If you're good with mold and electrical and certificate, hey, like if you're interested, Mike, you're just saying you would buy it for 90, not that you have 90,000. The other issue that you're going to run into is that you can't get a loan for a bunker. Banks don't want to give you a loan. You can maybe get a loan, like a business loan or something, but business loans aren't great. There are some websites out there with bunkers for sale, but they're going to try to overprice them. One that's out there is called missilebases.com, and that's the place that they're going to want 2 to 5 times what I would recommend someone actually paying. But you can check them out. Like you also, a little trick is you can Google pages on that website, and sometimes they don't, like, even though they're not in the menu, you can find them. So you can see old bunkers. There's several in Missouri that I know about, several in Kansas that I know about. There's also, I think there's a couple that were on eBay for a while, but they're asking like way too much. One of the reasons that some of the sellers are asking way too much is because they bought it for way too much. And so they can't get, like, they're in a contract which they have to fulfill that's over, $400,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And so they're in a bind, right? And so they don't want to sell it for less than that because that's sort of their obligations. But I mean, does that mean that we have to pay for those mistakes? I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that's how the market works for real estate. Actually, but never a middle base. They're usually flooded. Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to have a bunker buddy, Mike. That'd be awesome. We can talk. We can swap notes and stuff. How much? We paid less than the median price of a home. Median price of a home in the U.S. is about $330,000. We paid less than that. So, and I've seen ones that were fully renovated that sold, like market value sold for. So this is one of the issues is you can find them listed for millions of dollars, but the question is how much are they sold for, right? And once you know how much they sold for, then you really understand how much they're worth, right? It doesn't matter how much. I mean, someone could ask $1 million for their shed, right? But that doesn't mean it's worth that. So anyway, I mean, you can find some for $500,000, but again, I don't think, like, you have to take into account that they're old. They are going to take a lot of work. They're going to take a lot of money to put into them, and you really have to be passionate about that. How much have we put in? Too much. It doesn't look like it because we haven't really hired a lot of people. But I was actually taking money out of the business and was not a great idea. So I'm trying to rethink how we're going to pay for the renovation. Yeah. I mean, if the zombies come, it'll be totally worth it. So it doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of zombies stuff. They're okay. I just never really got into zombies. Dusk Till Dawn I know that was vampires. I don't know. I need to maybe figure out how to get into zombies more, but, we'll figure it out. I don't have a bunker because I'm worried about zombies, or anything. Some people are preppers out of fear or, other things. And I don't like operating out of fear. I like operating out of faith and hope and positiveness. So I know, right? Not into zombies, but got a bunker. And I used to live in Peachtree City, Georgia, which is where they film the Walking Dead. They gave tours and stuff in the town right next to us. So that's also where a lot of Marvel movies are filmed. And people would come there just to come and see Walking Dead stuff. Okay, remove the metal. Good idea. Okay, so it is a little bit complicated, but usually what I do is I've loosened all the brackets. I may have to move closer to the middle. Let's see if I can get this one here. So you can't get a bank loan, which is a huge problem. Yeah, Atlanta is the new Hollywood. You can't get a bank loan to buy a bunker, so you have to have cash. Or you have to convince the seller to finance it for you. But a lot of them, because they think, like, there's a cycle to bunkers, right? So we haven't had it really yet. I mean, I think last year was kind of close to it with COVID, but I don't think it was damaging definitely to the economy. But I think because of stimulus and other things, it wasn't nearly as scary, I think, as like the 2008 financial collapse. So I think 2008 financial collapse was kind of the height of bunker prices. People were paying astronomical prices. I met one guy who actually owns the one that was in pretty bad shape, and he bought a whole bundle of these bunkers and probably spent millions to get the bundle of bunkers. So, that's why I say, like, I guess sometimes there's reasons why people are a little bit unreasonable about pricing them so high, because they've put so much into them. Like, if they bought them during the scare of the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of those people overpaid. The bunker real estate market sort of goes in like a 10 to 15 year like dip for 10 and 15 years, and then it'll rise for like a couple years. But that only lasts for a couple years when people are scared about the economy, people are scared about, civil unrest or other things like that. Maybe we're getting there now. That could definitely happen in our future as far as like people. I think there are a lot of people who are starting to feel some of that anxiety. Hold on, I gotta fix my tripod. So starting to feel some of that anxiety. The economy is not doing great. There hasn't been any new stimulus, so that doesn't help. A lot of people, although there are jobs, there are jobs, but people just aren't going out and necessarily working. But I think that's starting to change. A lot of the stimulus is ending, so people really have to get out and start working more so that they can eat. So anyway, I think unemployment, am I right that the unemployment extended benefits have ended a little bit? I'm going to put this over here. What time is it? I do not know what time it is. Your nuclear filters also filter COVID. Yeah, I wish. COVID's hard to, you have to be pretty close to people. COVID dies on its own. Just like any disease, it dies on its own unless there's people. So it's mostly people that you have to worry about with biological disasters like that. Exciting, right? How often do I get out? I got it pretty much every day. There are some days when I'm really working really hard and I've got to focus and I don't go out. That does happen. But I don't know. I think men are sort of built, that's why men have man caves, where they can stay in the cave at least a day and be fine. But I usually go out. I'll go for a walk, go get the mail, do something outside every day. We're also having an ERV built for our bunker. We're getting a commercial one. So we're really excited about that. So stay tuned for that, because that should be really fun. I'm gonna wake the kids. Is it late? What time is it? I'm in Central Time. The lights, we usually turn the lights off when people start going to bed, so those lights are still on. What's an ERV? An ERV is an energy recovery ventilation system, and what it does is it constantly pulls air in and out of space. But what it does is without mixing the air, it brings it through a system which transfers energy from one to the other. So you don't lose your heat if you're heating your space in the winter. or you don't lose your coolness if you're cooling your space in the summer, or you don't pull in a bunch of hot air. The other nice thing about the ERV is we're going to set it up so it pulls more air in than it pushes out, which is going to slightly pressurize the bunker, which will help with several things. Hopefully, number one is we're hoping it will help with radon, but also that circulation of the air should help with radon as well. About food deliver. I would have food delivered inside the bunker, so I won't have to go outside until the metal is gone. Yeah, there's a lot of metal. I don't know if I could do that. So it gets fresh air. Yeah, we've got large 4-foot stainless steel baffles that are open all the time. So like there's enough air that circulates through here. We do have a monitor that monitors our CO2 and stuff like that, and it hasn't been too bad. Have I ordered Uber Eats there? No, it would be really expensive. Like the only place that does Uber Eats and like DoorDash and stuff like that is like 20 minutes away, right? And a lot of those people don't want to travel that far unless you give them a really good tip. So we're in central US, the central US, 6:45, but that's not too late. People aren't in bed yet. Anyway, when I'm going to lower this piece of metal here, and when I drop it, I'm going to cover my ears because it's really loud. Right? Let's see. Second piece of metal. See any questions? You're gonna mess up his name spelling. How is Enoch? It's E-N-O-C-H, just so you know. Enoch's doing great. He's been doing most of our videos lately, as you've probably noticed. I think he's been doing a great job. I've also been losing weight. I don't know if you can tell from my face, but I've been losing weight since January. I think I was up to almost 200, and I'm down to below 155 now since January. All right, I'll tell him, Mike. I'm not worried about a zombie apocalypse, but if there is one, I will be happy I have a bunker. All right. Two down. Two more to go. You want to lose weight? So here's what I've done to lose weight, in case you're interested. I've been doing every other day. I eat one meal a day, and I only eat every other day, and it's been just coming off. So yes, it's hard. Yes, I don't necessarily enjoy those days I don't eat. And one day a week, I eat whatever I want, and then I kind of keep it a little low carb during the week. Not 100%, but lower carbs. But for me, the easiest way to lower my calories is to not eat in a day, because it's hard for me. When I eat, I want to feel full, and if I can only do that one day every other day, I'd rather do that than eat every day. Who are not repaired and asleep will do. I mean, everyone's just. I mean, I believe in like freedom and people doing their own thing. So if people who aren't prepared and are asleep, because I don't feel like it's guaranteed something's going to happen. Although, I don't know if you guys have read the news story recently about an MIT computer basically predicting that according to the stats that it has, there will be a societal collapse before 2040, which I thought, oh, interesting. It's a row on the wall. So, I mean, maybe nothing will happen. I hope nothing happens. I hope everything goes well. I hope I don't need to, can't go to the grocery store and have to rely on food storage. Like, I think that's my hope, is that nothing ever happens. I hope that I never am like, oh man, I'm so glad I live in a nuclear bunker because everyone else is dead. Like, that's not my dream. So, if people don't want to, just want to do that, then that's fine. Okay, I need to cut to one day, one meal. I get it. I already have eat low carb. Yeah, I was eating one meal a day, and that helped for a while. And then I went from one meal a day, low carb, but eat as much as I want, right? Low carb, eat as much as I want, one a day. And I lost weight doing that. But then I kind of plateaued. And then I started doing a 48-hour, so one day I wouldn't eat out of the week. And that was helping too. And I was losing weight that way. It's like I had plateaued for several months, and that kind of helped me get off of that plateau. And then I've been so busy that it's just been a little bit easier for me to skip meals, like for the whole day. Like, I just don't eat, and then I'll just eat the next day. And then like the weight has been coming off, like at least a couple, like 2 to 5 pounds every week, every 2 weeks or something like that. So it's just been coming off really fast. So if I keep myself busy, I don't think about food too much. 2040, you say, 20 years to prepare. Yeah, not quite. And because the model says like before 2040. So I don't know what that means. That could be next year, I guess. I don't know. When you hear the emergency alarm on TV, just stand up and close your door. You're good. Okay. Oh yeah, sometimes at work I won't notice and miss lunch. Yeah, I just if you can skip eating for a day, it's really good. But I've noticed that the more weight I lose, the harder it is for me to give up a whole day of food. Like, I'm just so much hungrier when I'm thinner. Which I was a little bit surprised. Not totally though, because my wife's thin and she eats like all the time. She's like always eating. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but yeah. Anyway, that's how I've been losing weight. And like I said, I've been staying busy. If you stay busy and cannot think about food, and if you can just skip one day a week. I also recently rewatched I was feeling a little hungry, and so I was trying to get my mind off of food by thinking about food. I don't know if that works for me, whatever. If I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat it's an eating day, and I don't want to eat for a couple hours, because it's not lunchtime yet or whatever, whenever I'm going to eat, I'll start making food, because keeping myself active, thinking about food actually helps me not want to eat. Yeah, Enoch's super thin too, just like his mom. What was I saying? Something about not thinking about food. Sorry. So I'll do something. So the other day I was feeling kind of hungry, and I started watching this documentary. It was a BBC documentary called something along the lines of Live Long, Fast and Live Long, I think, something like that. You can find it on YouTube. And one of the things that they say is if you can do every other day, and then one day, on the day that you're fasting, it's not even a total fast. You just keep your meal under 500 calories. So you could still eat in that day, but just keep it under 500 calories, and that will help a lot. And then eat every other day. Eat whatever you want every other day, but then keep on your off days, on your fasting days, you can still eat, but just keep it under 500 calories. I'm not doing that. When I don't eat, I don't eat. But I've also built up to that over probably multiple years, because I was doing 1 meal a day for probably 2 years or something, and it worked at first, but then I plateaued. I just wasn't losing weight still. My body got used to it. Then I started skipping 1 day out of the week, and that was really working for a while. And then I got busy, and I just was like not even thinking about food, and before I knew it, the day was over and I didn't eat, and then that was helping a ton. So anyway, I've lost about 45 pounds over the last several months since January. And it wasn't like I was losing it that whole time. I plateaued. I just started doing every other day about a month ago. I think I've probably lost 15 pounds since doing that. So anyway, which is exciting. I like to eat, but I also like losing weight. So, and it gets harder. Like you get older, it gets harder. So, thanks. I appreciate you guys being a part of our channel and just participating. Okay, I'm going to try to remove some metal here. I've already loosened up the bolts. Look at that. I'm gonna scooch over here. I'll be right back. Did I tell you guys that Atlas Shelters might come and do a walkthrough? Thomas, did I mention that? I did talk to him. So Ron from Atlas Shelters actually had a health scare. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with his YouTube channel, but he sells bunkers, and he had, I guess, colon cancer. So that's kind of put all of his stuff on. You saw it on their channel? Really? Oh, I guess I need to catch up on some of his videos. I've just been so busy lately. Okay. All right. I should check that out. Did he show some of the pictures? I sent him some videos and pictures. Oh, you saw it in the chat. Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've talked to him about that, but like I said, I didn't want to bother him about it because of this whole colon cancer stuff that just kind of popped up recently. But we have talked about it, but not in several weeks, just because of his health stuff going on. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So it wasn't in a video, it was just in the comments. So we're in Central U.S., Central Time. And Central U.S. Yeah, I saw a couple of videos come out, but I don't know if he's going to come. I did talk to him about coming and doing a tour. Hopefully he'll do that sometime. All right, Mike, thanks for coming. I'll be safe. I'll be safe and careful. I don't know why these ones are not coming. I think I got to go scoot back over there and loosen up some other. So I'm gonna scoot over, I'll be right back. I think I'm gonna have to go to the other side and so for those who are just joining us, I'm just doing a little bit of renovation work up on my scaffolding, and trying to get some. All right, that was loud. Let's go over my tool bucket. Normally I'd have more family here helping me. I hand this stuff to them, but they're busy today, so. I'm probably not going to get that down today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to grab this because I got to go. Oops, sorry. I got to go down and move some metal. Oh. Starting to get a little tired. So, I sort of started talking about how do you buy a bunker, and talked about the market, dealing with sellers who want to overcharge you, why they want to overcharge you, because that's an important question, is like, why are they asking you for, why are they asking for 500,000, for $1 million? But you have to have counter arguments to that, like, right? You have to be able to let them know, like, hey, this is the actual market value. Like I said, there was one that I was looking at that we almost bought that sold for just a little bit over the median price of a home in the U.S., right? And that one was fully renovated. They spent probably a lot more than that, a lot of money. The thing is, part of it's market timing, right? So if you buy a bunker when nobody's worried about civil unrest and nobody's worried, like the economy's booming and everything like that, that's the best time to buy it, because people have been sitting on them, even though they aren't going to get the price that they want. They have to, on some level, realize that just people aren't willing to pay that much. And unless they want to wait another, depending on where they are in the cycle of the 10 to 15 year cycle, then they have to wait, or they have to wait, or they have to sell it for less. And that's what it comes down to. And I think I mentioned this, but the cycle is sort of like the recession cycle in the U.S. We usually have a recession about every 10 years or so, sometimes less, sometimes like 7 or 8 years. So you have when it's those recession times, if they're especially scary, the prices of bunkers are going to go way up. But if they're good times, that's the best time, especially the end of a good cycle, right? Because the sellers have been sitting on those bunkers for 10 years. No one's bought one. They don't know how they're going to sell it. That's the best time to buy one because they don't know. Are they ever going to be able to sell this thing, right? Fortunately, we had made an agreement and came up with a price and everything for our bunker before COVID. We didn't close until after COVID had started in June of last year, but we'd made the deal and the person stuck to the deal. So even though we hadn't closed yet, do I have enough supplies in there to hold you and your family for 5 years yet? No, not 5 years. Maybe a year. I don't think 5 years. It'd be nice though. I'd love to have it for an extended period of time like that. Things would have to be pretty bad to have to stay in a bunker for 5 years though. But I guess if there was a near nuclear bomb that went off, I guess that could be 5 years. Again, that's not why we're doing this, but something to think about for sure. Okay, some of the other challenges of buying your own bunker. Okay, so you have to find it. You have to find a reasonable seller. It's best to buy them during times when people aren't scared and worried. The other thing is financing, right? So you're not going to get bank financing. So you may be able to convince the seller to give you seller finance. That's what we got for our bunker. So our bunker is seller financed. And however, even though it's seller financed, we had to put down a substantial amount of money to get the bunker, right? So and that would be the case in a lot of times. If the seller's going to finance it, they're going to want at least $50,000. They may want as much as $150,000. So you will have to have a good chunk of change in the bank to be able to get a bunker, even if it's seller finance. It would be very surprising if they would give it to you for. We almost made a deal where we could put down $15,000. This was for a different bunker, $15,000, but we had to pay $150,000 after a year or two or something like that. So that was one, $150,000. That was one. I wouldn't necessarily consider that a $10,000, $15,000 down. That was more like $150,000 that was just deferred for a year or two. So you're going to have substantial money down. You won't be able to get a loan. You may be able to get, if you have a business, you might be able to get a business loan. Right now with the EIDL loans from the government, if you were affected by COVID, and if your business is doing well, you could potentially get a really nice 30-year loan from the SBA. So that right now is an opportunity. I don't know if that'll be around forever, where you could get a business loan, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be tied to a property. Because one of the other hurdles you're going to find is any loan that you could potentially get, if it's tied to the property, it's going to fall through. We looked at all sorts of different types of loans. As soon as they heard that it was a bunker, no matter how good our credit was, because our credit's really good, no matter how good our credit was, they were not going to give us that loan. But if you can get a loan that's not tied to a bunker, right now those EIDL loans aren't necessarily tied to anything, but if you can get them for your business, then I don't know if there's ever been an opportunity to get loans like there is right now through the SBA. Oh, whoops. Busting lights. gotta move this light so it doesn't get destroyed. Yeah, so there's quite a few hurdles to buying a bunker. It took us 7 years to figure out how to do it. It was 7 years before we thought we decided to do it, then we were actually able to do it. And a lot of those things we probably didn't even learn until that last year, right before we bought this one, when the thing started working out and we found a reasonable seller. We actually came to this bunker because we were in Pennsylvania. We came to this bunker on a trip to see another bunker. So we were going to go see another bunker. This added several hours to that trip. But we went to go see that other bunker. Well, we came to see this one first. And we told him, we said, hey, look, here's the market value. We know this other one sold for over the median price of a home, and it was renovated. This other one, they're asking $190,000, and it's in bad shape. It needs a lot of renovation. But yours is in pretty good shape. And so he actually came up with the number. An evil mustache. I don't know if a mustache would work well on me. I have had a goatee in the back. Do you have your own bunker? Yes. 6,000 square feet. We're remodeling it and living in it now. Oh, thanks. Someone already answered that for me. How much standard run these days, not including land and construction costs? So I would say it depends on the shape, right? I was mentioning earlier that there's one that was really bad shape, mold, asbestos, mildew, no electricity, no working plumbing, is in really rough shape. I personally wouldn't want to pay more than $110,000, but you will have a hard time convincing the seller of that. I think if you look at market values to say, hey, this is how much a renovated bunker actually sold for, and this is how much unrenovated bunkers in bad shape sell for, I think there's room to negotiate if you can find someone who's reasonable. Again, the problem is that person may have already overpaid for that bunker. So because they overpaid it, they're trying to recoup their overpayment through you, right? And so you run into, mentally, they're not there yet. So, you could potentially make offers to people and say, hey, this is how much I'll give you for your bunker. Here's how much I think it's worth. If you just said that, though, that's not going to be enough. You have to say, here, I understand the market. When we bought this one, I knew how much a fully renovated bunker just sold for. I knew how much another one that was in bad shape was asking. Again, I don't think it was worth it, but they were asking a certain amount. So we came in with market numbers and were able to present those numbers, and then the seller actually said, okay, well, can you do this? And then we agreed on his price. What are my thoughts behind a bunker buy? It's awesome. It's an awesome space. I've got 6,000 square feet. I don't know. It just feels right. Every time someone would say, just buy a house, get a normal house in a normal neighborhood, it just never felt right. It just never felt like it was me. It was what I wanted to do. Can you name a country for an edit? Can I name a country? United States? I'm not exactly sure, Marcus, what the question is. Can I name a country? If you need me to name a country, let me know what country. Price of construction. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be way more than it will ever sell for. But that's not why we're doing it. We're not doing it for resale value. In fact, I'd love never to sell it. I may put it in a trust so my kids can't sell it too. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I've got some metal down here that I'm getting out of the way. No problem. Happy to read your comment. Can you go in the bunker? I'm in the bunker. This is it. This is the space. I live here. and I'm renovating it. So I got a battery low. There's no house on top of the bunker, just our bunker right now. There's a little tiny like shed building where our stairwell is. There's a little shed that has a door, that has a stairwell that comes down. Who's all going to live here? I mean, just my wife and my kids, unless I guess they'll grow up and leave. But, my dream is that I have a place where people can come, right? Like a family reunion type place. Like I'll have plenty of room, people can come. That's kind of the dream. It's not a bunker in a basement. That's right. This is not a bunker in a basement. This is a 6,000 square foot nuclear hardened bunker that was built in the 60s, a communication bunker by the government, and we're renovating it into a home. It's not just a basement. Yeah, thanks. All right. If you guys have any questions, this is the bunker. Hey, let's do a quick little tour. I'm running out of battery. I don't know how long I'm going to last. But this is the room we're living in right now. You can see some of my family there. This is my wife, Joan. There's our fridges. That's kind of our makeshift kitchen. This room right here is 1,700 square feet, all by itself. That was the size of our first house. And it's 16.5-foot ceilings, so you could build a second floor to that. So then there's this room. I forget how big this one is, 1,200 square feet, something like that. But there's this wall we took out, so that wall will be built back up, but it was drywall, so we had to tear it down. There was mold in it. We didn't know that, but we knew we wanted to tear it down because of the possibility of mold. This is another one of the entrance room. This is where you come into the bunker. There's 2 doors there, but past that door is actually our blast door. But it's in the dark, so it's harder to see. But this is kind of interesting. There's a door, because we have this mezzanine. There's some steps that go up to the mezzanine. That's where my wife and I's room is. And we sleep up there. We live here. We're renovating into a home. And I think it's fun. I think renovating is fun. Yeah, I mean, it's not like fun and then we'll stop. This is we want to turn this into our forever home. So, sorry, my camera and my phone's a little blurry. I need to probably get a new screen cover. But we've got about 6,000 square feet. There's some other rooms, but these are the two big. These are the biggest rooms in the whole place. We've got two feet thick walls, 2 foot thick reinforced concrete ceiling. It's probably deeper on the ground. I wouldn't say 24/7. We also have 13 acres of land, so we go outside. We're not doing some biosphere experiments or anything. My wife is totally on board. If people ask us if we're preppers, she's way more of a prepper than I am. So she was on board. This would be hard without them being on board. My kids, so this was a 7-year process, right? So my kids were small. My oldest right now is 19. Oh, no, she just turned 20. My oldest right now is 20. So 7 years ago, now 8. 8 years ago is when we started this whole, we just decided that we were going to make this work. We're going to figure out how to make it happen. So you can imagine, my oldest was 13 at the time. So a lot of my kids, their reaction was, well, it's about time. They weren't really, against it or necessarily excited about it. They were a little bit apathetic about it, I would say. But I think their biggest reaction was, yeah, it's about time. You've been talking about this long enough that I'm at least glad it happened. I'm asking if you guys are scared and living in the bunker for that. No, I don't believe in working and doing anything out of fear. I don't like doing things out of fear. faith, hope, inspiration. Those are my main motivators. I feel inspired living in a bunker. I feel like it feeds, my inner artist in a way, to be able to work on it and do these projects and stuff like that. I really like installation art. I don't know if you're familiar with what installation art is. Probably some of you are. So like that involves space, like taking a space and transforming it into a sculpture, right? So like I love space. That was probably one of my biggest motivators for buying a bunker, is just I fell in love with the space. So when I say like it was a 7-year process, it was about that time that we actually went and saw someone who had renovated a bunker, and we just fell in love with it. We like, this is awesome. Like we were going to buy that one. It didn't work out, but we were going to buy that one. Because the space is just awesome. How much did it cost? We paid less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is about $330,000. The median price of a home is $330,000, but we paid less than that. So you can see above ground. We don't have a telescope, a periscope, I think is called. Although that would be cool. We'd like to get a security system. So as far as like energy and stuff, we don't really need to run any air conditioning in the summer. It stays pretty cool down here. Energy in the winter right now is expensive because we're not well insulated. So we will need to, used to be a lot of telecom equipment in here, so this whole place ran hot. So they rarely had to worry about heat. If anything, cooling was their biggest concern. But it stays pretty cool down here. Once we insulate it, we're going to insulate the whole outside walls. Hopefully our heating bill will go down. I mean, I think we've paid as much as $300 in a month, which for 6,000 square feet, that's not too bad, right? We're not heating the whole thing, but like we're also not heating big spaces. When was it last used by the government? In the 80s. I think they closed down in the 80s. It was actually not used by the government. The government built it with AT&T, but AT&T ran it. So it was totally run by AT&T. It was a communication hub. So they had telecom information here, switchboards, and everything, like any other communication hub that they might have. It is hard living in a construction zone, yes. That is hard. There's dust and it's a big space. It's a big space for upkeep and stuff. So that is hard. Walking over things or, we're not near a major city, but there is a small town about 20 minutes away with the Walmart and Home Depot. So we're not out completely in the boonies where we're like hours away from a hospital or anything. So it's just my family and I. I've got 3 kids at home right now. One kid who's not at home right now. It's hard to remember to put on shoes to go to the bathroom. I wear shoes everywhere in the bunker. I don't walk around barefoot. Close enough for services and essentials. So that's pretty cool. That is kind of cool. Any other questions? I'm open to answering any questions. I think maybe my battery's dying, and I'm probably going to have to end at least 10 minutes. I don't know if my battery's going to last more than 10 minutes. But if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I think I'm kind of slowing down. I'm getting a little tired from working on stuff. But I will answer questions until about when my battery's about to die. How long have we lived there? We've been here for over a year. And we still have a lot of renovation to go. But we're working on it. See this ceiling? It used to look more like this ceiling. And even this one, I've taken down some of the metal. So we're making progress. You know, we're getting stuff down. And the other room where there's no metal in the ceiling, we took all of that down as well. Plus, we refurbished the hot water heater that's here. We put in showers. We didn't have showers for a long time. We took bucket showers using an Instapot to heat up our water for almost a year. How many rooms? Eventually we'll have 5 bedrooms, but we don't really have any bedrooms right now except for the mezzanine where Joan and I are. We kind of use that as a bedroom. But right now there's like 4 major big rooms and then some other appendage rooms and a mezzanine. So I don't know, 6, 7, 8 rooms really total. But we're going to build more. So how did we acquire it? So we contacted a bunch of sellers, a bunch of people who own them. I guess they weren't necessarily sellers. We just contacted a bunch of people that own bunkers. I found this person, the person who sold us this one. I found the bunker. I looked up the county records to see who owned it, and the phone number was on the county records. So I called him and I said, "Hey, are you interested in selling your bunker?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm interested." And I said, "Okay, we're taking a trip out there because we were going to go look at a different bunker. Can we come like in a week or 2 or whenever, however it was?" And so we came and we saw it and talked about buying it and some numbers about some other market price of bunkers, some comps. And he made us an offer that felt was reasonable, and we accepted it. And we didn't buy the other one. Thank goodness. It was in bad shape. That high door leads up to, it's the mezzanine. So there's basically, if I go up to the mezzanine, there's a door up there. We're going to extend that floor though, right where that door is. So that door is great that's there because we're going to build a hallway and we're going to build 2 rooms coming off of that hallway. What's all the metal in the ceiling? So there used to be a bunch of telecom equipment. Thanks. These are great questions, guys. Thanks for your questions. This was a telecom building, and so everything here is built on like springs, and so it was connected to the floor on springs and connected to the roof in case there was a nuclear explosion, because this was built to survive a nuclear explosion, that the equipment doesn't get damaged, right? So it would be able to shake and stuff. So all this metal in the ceiling was part of holding the equipment in place. There were lights up there too, so it held the lights, and there was conduit up there. Oh yeah, we took down a bunch of conduit up there. I forgot about that. But it was also there to kind of stabilize the equipment down below. So we spent less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is $330,000 is the price of a home in the U.S. We spent less than that. Fun rooms, yes. That big room, that 1,700 square foot room is going to be our fun room. It's going to be our rec room. So that's going to stay open. We're living in it right now because we're working on the construction of the other areas, right? But like this room is going to become our kitchen. So our kitchen's going to be over here in this corner. We're going to have a dining room right here over on this side, and then sort of open concept on this side. We'll have chairs and little tables and stuff like that, so you can kind of hang out. So this will be kind of our big kitchen hangout room. So I haven't scrapped anything yet. Maybe I should, but like it's also that thought of am I going to have to buy something to replace that metal with? Like, is there something I can use the metal for? So I'm kind of waiting to see if I would use it for something, or there's something I can use it for, and then maybe looking at scrapping it once I fit. People always tell me to quit my channel and my TikTok. Oh, really? That's sad. I don't know. That doesn't sound like they're very nice. Yeah, I mean, if you're, yeah, I don't know. So, I don't know. I don't have any good advice for you. I mean, don't listen to people. That would be my best advice. I've always not listened to people. I've always been a little anti-authoritarian. Yeah. I mean, I could scrap it and get some money, but like, if I had to rebuy something similar, then it would cost a lot more than scrapping. So, like this, let me see if I can get a good shot of some of this metal. I've been thinking about this metal right here. See these kind of T things? Those are really hard to get down. I actually have a pulley system right here, this yellow, there it is, the yellow rope. It's got a pulley on it, and you have to kind of lower it down slowly. And I dropped one once, and it was super scary. And if someone was underneath it, they would have died. But fortunately, no one was underneath it. But I've been overly cautious about lowering them now. But I've been thinking about these little T things and wondering if I can use those to actually help hold up some of the structure of a second floor. If I sort of conjoin them, two of them together. I think they're about 4 feet tall. So they don't look that big up there, but when you bring them down here, they're big. What did you do before renovating? So I have a business that I run. We make templates and website templates for WordPress, and we also have clients that we help with their websites or with online marketing and other stuff like that. So I've been working online for about 15 years. So we could move anywhere. Another thing that maybe is good, if you are gonna buy a bunker, I don't like the idea of buying a bunker as a backup place to go, because in a lot of ways a bunker is like a boat. It needs someone to really take care of it and upkeep it and stuff like that. How did I learn to do all this? YouTube. We're in central U.S. That's where we're at. There's 5 of us that live here, my wife and my 3 kids. How hard is it? How hard is it to renovate? I mean, I feel pretty comfortable going to YouTube and learning how to do something and just trying it. Like, I'm okay failing, so I'm not worried about failing. Oh, that's interesting, our 72-hour kit. Well, we're welcome here. Need licenses or permissions. It might depend on like where you live, like what you need as far as like building a bunker. I mean, if there's also companies, there's like Atlas Survival Shelters, which builds bunkers for people out of metal. So I was looking, that's an interesting question. How many people can the bunker sustain? Because what's that one place? Like, it's like an underground city that was built anciently in like a bunch of limestone and stuff. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I was surprised to hear that space is only like, I don't know, like several thousand square feet, and people are always saying, oh, this could hold like 11,000 people. And I'm like, my bunker's 6,000 square feet, and I don't think I could hold that many people. I mean, maybe it could hold more people than I think it can. I guess you'd have to use your space very judiciously. We're being very, what's the word? Extravagant in our use of space. Like, I like big spaces, right? So we're using like this, like that rec room is 1,700 square feet. That was the size of our first house that had 4 bedrooms, right? And we're gonna leave it completely open as a rec room. So, I mean, that's kind of extravagant in my mind, to have something like that. And then this space is probably 1,000, at least maybe around 1,000 square feet, this room here. And it's gonna be just our kitchen and dining room, right? So that's a lot of space for just a kitchen and dining room. So, if I sectioned plus I have 16.5-foot ceilings, right? So I could double the space of every square foot in this entire bunker. So I've got 6,000 square feet. I could probably turn this into about 10,000 square feet total if I wanted to, right? If I wanted to give up some of that space. But I love just having that space. I love having the open space. So, you know, we could probably put a lot more people in here if we wanted to, but I'd have to give up my extravagance of space, which I don't know if I'm willing to do, because I really love if you're gonna live in an underground bunker, I think you need space, right? Like because you don't want to feel claustrophobic, right? I think if everything was like just sort of built to take advantage of every square inch of the entire space so I can maximize capacity and fit as many people in here as possible. That's not really my goal, right? I'm not really worried about doomsday. I don't have any, doomsday predictions or anything. I mean, could something happen? Maybe. Will I be happy I have a bunker? Yes, if something does happen. But it's not really at the forefront of me doing this. I look at it more of a source of inspiration than fear. So it doesn't make sense for me to try to, maximize my space and feel claustrophobic, or other people might feel claustrophobic if they came and visited or something. Yes, this bunker was built to withstand a nuclear blast. If we got hit directly, we would die, because a nuclear blast makes a big crater, and we would be destroyed in a crater. But if it doesn't hit us and we're not in the crater, we should be okay. It doesn't flood. We have a giant sump pump. It's the size of, what's a good equivalent? I don't know. It's like the size of one of those really tiny Fiat cars. It's pretty big, but it's not that big. It's not the size of a big car. So we've got a sump pump. The original one, it still works when it rains. You can hear it go off, pumping water up and out. Tour. I gave a slight tour earlier, but I don't know if I have enough battery to do another tour. We do have a tour on our YouTube channel. If you want to go check out, we have a YouTube channel. If you want to see more of the process of the renovation, we're trying to all the video that we've taken since the beginning, we're trying to put it up there on our YouTube. It's also called Underground Living. It could flood. I have seen water in other bunkers coming up from the drains and stuff, but it's probably because the sump pump's not on and not working. Fortunately, our sump pump works. We had our sewage ejector pump refurbished by the seller, actually helped us refurbish it. Thanks, Jimmy Neutron. We haven't had too many issues with water. We do have one like conduit that comes through the ground that kind of leaks a little bit. But guys, definitely check out our YouTube channel. We'd love to have more people from TikTok join us over there. There's some good long form videos if you want to see more of our renovation over there. You can go to our website, undergroundliving.tv, which is basically just like a link site. So it just links. You can see our link to our YouTube channel. We've done a few videos on some products, like we did a welding kit video where we bought, for less than $150, we bought a welder, which works pretty well. Backup sump pump. There are two motors on our. There are two 2 horsepower motors. So each motor is 2 horsepower, and we've got 2 of them on the one pump. So there is a backup. The same with our sewage ejector pump. We've got 2 motors on the sewage ejector pump. So there is a backup there if something happens to one. Yeah, it can if the pipes collapse and the sump pump fails. I mean, the pipes are pretty robust. I mean, they're like, it's like a lot of stuff. It's like a thick piece of metal that the pipe goes through. I mean, yes, something could happen. Something could always happen, but it's not like thin pipes. It's a powerful pump, and it's really thick piping. And even like in the 60s, it seems like stuff was built more robust, right? Like, so I've taken out some copper piping that's here, and it's thick, right? Like, it's way thicker than the copper piping that you go out and buy today at Home Depot. Had when they built this place in the 60s was just thick stuff. It was good. Do I know of anyone else doing this? I mean, there's some people on YouTube that are doing some missile silo renovations. Some of the channels out there are Atomic Underground is one. He's doing a missile silo. There's another one is Death Wears Bunny Slippers, which he did a renovation, and he actually has an Airbnb. You can go and stay in his missile silo. We appreciate. Thanks for watching our videos. And like right now on our YouTube, we have the subscribers to be monetized, but we don't have the watch time. So if anyone wants to go watch our videos on YouTube, that'd help us. We could become a YouTube partner and actually be able to get monetized on YouTube. That'd be awesome. But we don't have the watch time. We need a lot more watchers. What made us want to do it? Just because it's awesome. Just we fell in love with the space. We saw one that somebody else renovated and just fell in love with it. Yes, I am in the bunker now. This is my art project. My renovation project. We haven't been posting a lot of renovation videos lately just because of work got in the way. I've just had a lot of stuff that I've needed to do with my company that I couldn't put off. I was putting it off, and then I got way behind on stuff. The facility was built to withstand a nuclear blast as long as it doesn't hit us, as long as it's a near miss. Is that a window? There's no window. That's just a light over there. And then my camera's kind of, it's behind a screen protector that needs to be changed, so it's a little bit glary. So yeah, that's just a bunch of lights. Some little lights with stands. But this room, we want to we'll get this metal down. We want to build a second floor here, and then that's the door from the mezzanine that comes out, and that will extend into this room. So this room will be 2 stories here. Behind me will be a very large pantry. My wife wants a small grocery store in our home, and then above it will be 2 bedrooms with their own bathroom. And every bedroom we want to have its own bathroom, because like my sort of dream is that my kids can come home as they get old and get married and have their own kids, is that this can be a place for reunions and stuff. The family can come. Everyone will have their room with their bathroom. And anyway, that's kind of one of my goals. Yeah, the lights are bright. They're like lights. They're like on stands. They're like photography lights, and they're the lights I had. So they're like photo lights, 5K photography lights that you would see in a photography studio, and then it's just glary because of my camera. From the outside, it just looks like a small shed, or a large shed, I guess I should say. For a shed, it's large, but it's smaller than a house. I think it's maybe 16 by 18 or something like that. And then it's got a roof, and so that's where we come in, and that's all you see from the outside. And then underground, it's 6,000 square feet. What do you think you'll have in this when the entire project's done? I don't know. It'll be a lot. I'm not sure. Could it be $500,000? Maybe. Would this place ever sell for for more than that? No, probably not. I don't know about millions because I'm doing a lot of the work as much as I can myself. It's kind of part of the fun and adventure is to do it yourself. If I had somebody else do it all for me, then yes, it would probably cost millions. I think I could probably do it for less than $500,000, which is more than I have in the bank. I'm expecting between 5 and 10 years to finish it, realistically, since I'm doing a lot of it myself. We do have a tour. I think I did one. I posted it on our YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out, it is in vertical format. So if you want to go see that, you can go check out our. Hey, happy birthday, Red Ghost. So yeah, if you want to go see a tour, check out our YouTube channel. If you go there's a link to our YouTube channel with the YouTube icon on our profile. There's also our website, which is undergroundliving.tv, which has a link to our channel. And we'd love for people to go and watch our videos because we don't have enough watch time to be monetized on YouTube yet. Hey, yeah, thanks for joining us. We're glad you came here too. Turned 17. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's how old my son is. Enoch, who's been doing a lot of our videos lately. Yeah. It's a good age. 17. It's a good creative age, I think. Quick tip, ask the grocery store if they have a case of the product you want to buy bulk. Yeah, that is a good tip. Yeah, to get stuff cheaper. For sure. Although I find if you can make it to, if like you have an Aldi close to you, I find Aldi is often cheaper. We don't have an Aldi close to us. There's one about an hour away. But every once in a while we'll go to that town that has an Aldi. And I find it cheaper than even like the membership club places for most things, not for everything. When you build your wall, you should install Ethernet ports. Yeah. Well, the other option is there's actually internet lines. We actually get pretty good internet here, but but there are internet lines that will go through your outlets. You can put in internet lines that will transfer data through your home outlets. I forget what they're called. Anyway, it's an easy way to just kind of put internet throughout your whole house without rewiring stuff. But that's still not a bad idea, is to put Ethernet lines just in places so people can hardwire in without taking up a plug, for sure. Yeah, it helps the grocery store employees, right? They only have to bring out the thing. I never thought about that. That's actually a good idea. At Sam's Club as well, yeah. Hey, thanks guys for the follow. We appreciate it. Appreciate you guys joining us. So yeah, this is our bunker. We live in it. It's built in the 60s by the government and AT&T. It's run by AT&T until the 80s. They shut them down. The reason they shut them down, interesting tidbits, is because the invention and the widespread use of fiber optics. These facilities became obsolete. They were built in order to protect the communication grid in case of a nuclear fallout or solar flare or something like that, so that the communication grid, the line from across the country, would still work. But fiber optics isn't affected by that. So they became obsolete. They got rid of them, and they stopped that, where they shut most of them down in the 80s. There actually are still a few that are owned by AT&T and that they use them today. But most of them they got rid of. Do you know this band what band sings Believer? Like I'm a believer, like the Beatles? Or believe, I don't know this, I don't know if I know the song Believer. Unless you're referring to I'm a Believer by the Beatles, but probably not. Yeah. So anyway, I'm hoping that the work stuff will slow down after after the first week of October. Things should be kind of slowing down for me a little bit, and I'll be able to get back to the renovation. But the other thing that I'm trying to think through is I've been taking too much money out of my business for my renovation, and that kind of put me in a bad spot for a little while. And so I really had to kind of focus on doing some stuff to grow the business so I can get out of that bad spot. But anyway, I've been trying to think through, is there a way for me to have the bunker to do something that will just outside of my company or whatever that I could do that help the bunker pay for itself. So I've been brainstorming a lot about that. Some of my ideas are like setting up like building like 10 tiny houses and setting up an Airbnb for them outside. People can come and stay at our Airbnb in the tiny houses, not in the bunker. We're living here anyway, but yeah, do some tiny houses. I mean, working in a bunker is hard because I'm not using any wood or drywall or anything that could potentially mold or mildew. So that makes it a lot harder. Wood construction is pretty easy. I've got all the tools, almost all the tools for wood construction, but I don't use any wood in the bunker, at least not permanently. I do have some, but it's not permanent. It's not going to be a permanent thing. Yeah, but I've been looking at different stuff, different ways of maybe, trying to think through, like, how can I make, and then it might be cool, like, if I can do that, then it might be cool for someone else to kind of follow in our footsteps and be able to buy a bunker. I'd love to have more bunker buddies. I'd love to have more people who are working on a similar project, because it is a little daunting sometimes. Thanks. You love our long form videos on YouTube. Thanks. We've got a part 2 coming soon on our sewer adventures outside. We'd love you guys to go and check out more of our videos on YouTube. We need more watch time because we can't get monetized until we get the right amount of watch time. I've done some interviews in the past, and I have some more that I guess I could post soon. Just interviewing some cool people that have some other projects that they're doing. In my mind, so one of the reasons I called my channel Underground Living, like, my thought was that it's not just about like living in a bunker, right? That it's like about like sort of like lifestyles and living that like just aren't normal, that aren't the kind of stuff that you find every day. So it's kind of underground because a lot of people just don't know about it. Can you do an entrance video? I start to lose internet if I go to the entrance, but I might be able to show you from the door. Lyle Lovelit called and wants his look back. I don't know if I know who Lyle Lovett is. Here's the entrance. Here's our blast door. Look at this. Look at this. This is like a bank vault here. We've got like all these things that like open up from our blast door. And then we come through here, and this is the stairwell that comes down from above on our bunker. So here are the 4-foot baffles. They're stainless steel baffles, and those open up and can let air in. These ones are one of these is kind of open. These are open where the filter is on the other side. But there's the stairwell. You can kind of see the door area up there. platform. Yeah, Lyle Lovett. I'll have to look him up. Did I steal his look? I don't know. It depends on how old he is. If he's old, that sounds like someone who's older. He might win. As far as let's look him up. I'm right here by my computer. All right. I mean, if people are are interested in the interviews, I need to get them up. Maybe I'll get one up today because I have them edited. I have them there. I just need. How do you buy a bunker? Ooh, we just went over that. It's a long process. It's not easy, especially if you want to get one at a reasonable price. I don't know if I could pay for my renovation with paid tours. Like I thought about that because I know some people do that, like with like their Airbnb, because you can do like experiences on Airbnb. I just don't know if it would make enough money. So, I mean, the short of it is how to buy a bunker is, well, first you have to find them, then you have to finance them. Before you finance them, you have to convince a seller to sell it for a reasonable price. Most people that own bunkers want you to pay like $1 million for them, and they're just like outrageously priced. But when they actually sell, they don't sell for that much. So you have to come in with understanding of the numbers and everything in the market of what things actually sell for. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, there he is. Lyle Lovett. Yeah, his hair's been pretty big too, huh? All right, he wins. He's older than me for sure. And then you've got to convince the seller to sell it for you at a reasonable price. It's almost impossible to get financing for a bunker unless you get it through some other channel that has nothing to do with a bunker. One of the things I brought up, if you do have a business, right now there's like a huge opportunity to get a loan from the SBA, the EI. If your business was affected by COVID, to get an EIDL loan for like 30 years at like a great like 3% interest rate over 30 years, and it's based on like your business profits and stuff like that. This is like right now, that would be the perfect type of loan potentially to use to get a bunker, because you can use it for any part of your business, right? So if you wanted to buy a bunker as part of your business, then that would be one of the huge opportunities. I was trying actually. I mean, we're seller finance mostly. We did have to put a sizable down payment, but we convinced, or the seller was open to doing a seller finance. He was open to it from the beginning, but he did want a sizable down payment, right? Like I think you're going to pay at least $50,000 down to get a bunker if you can convince a seller to hold the note, right? They're not going to do it really for less than that. I don't think you have to be a millionaire. We're not millionaires. I think you can do it. I think it is possible. So we got one with, we actually paid, I'll tell you guys, we paid $60,000 down, and then the seller held the rest of it. So, yes, we had to have a sizable down payment. But we've been working on this for like 7 years. So, but the seller held ours. But like I said, right now, EIDL loan, if you have a business, like there is no better time, and you were affected by COVID, there's I don't know of any other loan that has existed outside of that EIDL loan right now, where they basically, they're not telling you what you can spend it on, and you can get multiples of your business earnings. And I'm going through a whole rigmarole. I applied for a loan through the EIDL stuff, and I filled out something wrong, and it's a huge pain to have to redo your paperwork through the EIDL. It's a huge pain, and nobody there knows how to do it. Like they're not very helpful, basically. So we're in Central U.S. This is Central Time. Yeah, Lyle Lovett's hair looks a little bit curlier than mine, though, I think. Hey, thanks for the follow. All right. Any other questions about buying a bunker? That's kind of the summary of buying a bunker. You got to find one. You got to convince the seller to sell it for you at a reasonable price. To do that, you have to know the market, right? You have to know what they actually sell for. Oh, the other thing I mentioned when I went over it before is that there's a cycle. So there's about a 10, 15-year cycle of bunkers where something happens. Like 2008 was a horrible time to buy a bunker. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who bought their bunkers that own them today bought it at that time, and that's why they want an unreasonable price for them, because that's what they paid. But then the price goes down because scared. There was the financial crisis. There was no bailouts. Well, not for the poor, right? There's only bailouts for the rich. So like there were no bailouts like the stimulus checks like they've had recently. There was a lot of fear involved, and that could happen again, right? Like, so there could be a huge rise in the price of bunkers. It may be this is a great time, or in the next year or two could be a great time to sell a bunker. We're not selling ours, but it could be a great time to sell it, but it'd be a horrible time to buy it, right? Because most sellers, like they spent way too much. They've been holding on to it. The best time to buy is when the economy is booming, like the Trump years, when like that. This is when we made our deal before COVID happened. We bought. It was a great. The economy was doing great. The person that held on for it had it for like 10 years. Didn't know if it was ever going to sell, and so he was reasonable. I don't think we paid less than we should have, but he was at a reasonable point to sell it at a reasonable rate, because I think he probably was thinking like 400,000 for it, but when I told him the other market price that the other places went for, the one that was renovated, which went for less than 400,000, he had the prices lower. Because I knew the market when I came to him. And I didn't even name a price. I just went to him and I said, hey, this one sold for this much and this one's asking this much. And he picked a price in between those, and we felt it was reasonable. So we're in central U.S., Central Time. Any other questions? I've been talking a long time. My throat's getting a little bit sore. But if you guys have more questions, I will answer them. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for, how's the water and sewer? Has been great. Like, we haven't had any issues with sewer, haven't had any issues with water. Where am I from? So I was born in Texas, but just born. And I lived in Tennessee until I was 8. And then I spent most of my teenage and adult life in Pennsylvania. So I kind of feel like a Pennsylvanian in a lot of ways, just because those were pretty formidable years. My wife is from Pennsylvania, lived all of her life in Pennsylvania. I mean, she didn't go to school in Pennsylvania. I did, grad school and undergrad in Pennsylvania. We have 13 acres of land, of like farmland here. Hey, from India, thanks for joining us, Drake. How much was your bunker? It was less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is like about $330. So it was less than that. But it's unrenovated, so we're renovated. Trump rally is on. Yeah. I mean, really, 2019 was the best year to buy a bunker for sure. And we didn't buy it then. We closed in 2020, but we had made the deal then, because it had been through a long boom cycle of it for the economy. Things were going great. There was little fear. People had very little fear about the economy. Now things are kind of going downhill. And if they continue to go downhill, the prices of bunkers are going to go up for a while. The price of bunkers are going to be up for about 2 or 3 years, and then they'll come down again. I mean, the sellers may not accept that they come down, but the market says yes, they come down, because people just aren't aren't scared anymore. Bunker prices go up when people are scared. Fortunately, we didn't buy ours because we were scared. We bought ours because it was part of our dream. All right. How did we guys stumble upon a bunker? We actually saw one, like during the 2008 financial crisis. You know, I worked online for about the last 15 years, so we've always thought about, like, where do we want to live? Like, what's our dream situation, right? And so we looked at a lot of things. We looked at, like, you know, could we live on an island? Maybe if we can get internet. Could we, you know, live, you know, we just kind of brainstormed, like, all, like, of our dream places to live. And then we saw someone who was selling a bunker who had renovated it, and we went and we saw it, and we just fell in love with it, and we were like, this is it. Like, I mean, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but, like, we were just like, this is what we want, right? And every time people would say, you know, just buy a house, because it's like over 7 years, we're talking about we're going to buy a bunker and live in it, and every time people would bring up things like, oh, we'll just buy a house and just, you know, give up on your dream and whatever, it just never felt right? Like, it was never never felt like the right thing for us. How many square feet? About 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. Don't be a Peter Pan. What does that mean? Like, never grow up? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm getting older, but I don't know if I can grow up. So we saw one that somebody else had renovated, and we just were like, we love this. It was a cool place. The only thing bad about that bunker was that he used a lot of wood studs and drywall, and we're not going to do that in our bunker, because it's when you're in a basement, basically a giant basement, like the last thing you want to deal with is mold and mildew. And if it's behind a wall, and you don't know, right? Like, we knew when we tore down this wall back here, we were already worried about mold, and we didn't know there was mold in there, but we did find mold in there when we tore it down. So we're like, oh, okay, it confirmed our concerns. So we're like, okay, yeah, that just seals the deal for us. No drywall, no wood. You know, I don't mind a little wood, like in the bunker, like if it was like a table, I don't mind as much. Something you can lift up and look under and check out, right? Like nothing that's permanently attached to the wall. It's a California term. I'm kind of low on battery, so, like, I don't know if I can do a tour right now, but there is a tour on our YouTube channel that I took from TikTok. So if you want to go to our YouTube channel, it's you can find a link in our profile. You can go to our website, which is undergroundliving.tv, which has a bunch of links. The first one's our YouTube channel. I have a tour on there. And if you guys can watch our videos on YouTube, that would be awesome, because we need the watch time. And if you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you over there. We've got a lot of stuff. We're working on some back videos that we filmed, but we never posted. So we're editing those and getting those up. Let's see. Yeah, I can't wait to see the progress too. How about air? So we've got like 4-foot baffles that are always open. So we get pretty good air. We have a monitor too that monitors our CO2 levels. Kitchen cabinets, we do have kitchen stuff right now that's wood, but that's not, those were just here. We're just upcycling them. So we're not going to do any kitchen cabinets that are wood. I may have to fabricate them using my welder. I do have children. I've got 4 children, 3 still at home. My oldest is 20, and she's not home right now. But I've been talking to her. We're actually talking about maybe having her come home, and we'll build her a tiny house that she may live in, or she may just rent out and start making money. Future plans for the bunker. Okay, so The rec room, which is our 1,700 square foot room, we're going to keep that completely open. That's just going to be our fun room, right? So our playroom. That's the room we're living in right now while we renovate other parts. There's a mezzanine up there, which is a bedroom right now that my wife and I are using as a bedroom. But we'll build a wall there. They'll build a hallway that'll come to this door. We're just going to take that door out and then extend this room here to where this those metal studs are. We're going to extend this room so there'll be 2 stories because we have 16.5-foot ceilings. So behind me, this room that's behind me, you can see it's like actually a big room back there. That's going to be our pantry. And then there's going to be 2 bedrooms in the upper floor here. And then this room over here, which is a larger room, the part where it's blue, sorry, there's a lot of glare there. That's going to be our kitchen. So we're going to have a kitchen back in the corner, back in that corner, sorry. And the corner will be a kitchen, and then next to that will be a dining room, and then along this wall over here will be kind of like lounging room. So sort of like an open concept room. So we won't have 2 stories in any main room. They'll have 2 stories here, and then we have an engine room, which is here's the steps for the mezzanine right there. So that goes up to this room there, and then there's a door there that just basically falls down to the 2nd floor. We're going to build the second story there in this room, and then there's a room over right next to that stairwell. Which is the engine room. It has like our backup generator, which was original to the bunker, which we're also going to have to get rid of. But that will be an office. My office will be there. Hey, thanks for the gift. I appreciate it. And then above that, we're going to do 2 stories there too. Will be 2 more rooms. So there'll be at least 5 bedrooms, all with their own bathroom. The reason we want to put all the bedrooms upstairs is because it's easier to do plumbing. If we're going to do bathrooms and all of those, like to have the plumbing come from those rooms to go to our ejector pump, so it sort of goes downhill. You want all plumbing to be able to go downhill. That's the most ideal. And then probably for our kitchen plumbing, we'll just do something along this back wall. So like all the way across this back wall. And then behind this wall, that door is to our pump room. So that's where the sewage ejector pump is that pumps everything out. So everything's got to go to that room. But what we'll need to do is we'll actually have something like a Santa flow or something like that, so that we can pump it up and into the sewage ejector pump. And then the sewage ejector pump will pump it up and out of the facility. No, we're not planning. This is a stay forever. Forever home in a bunker. That's the goal. If the air outside was contaminated, so are yours. We do have, it depends on what the contamination is, right? We do have nuclear filters that are original to the bunker, where our 2 main large baffles are. So if it's nuclear, they should be filtered through those filters. But that's the basic plan. We want to keep a lot of, it's kind of luxurious. Like we're going to have a 1,700 square foot rec room, playroom, basically. But I think you need that. I think when you have a bunker, you need some wide open spaces. Our kitchen's going to be the 16.5-foot ceilings, kitchen, dining room, living room area. It will be a little bit, there'll be 2 stories here. So when you walk in, you'll kind of have a hallway you'll go down, but then it'll open up. So I think that'll be a good change. Like you'll kind of come into it, it'll kind of feel slightly claustrophobic, but then it opens up to a much larger space. And so you kind of feel, less claustrophobic about it. Just have to kind of push through that little entryway. Usually bunkers are cash only. Where does one look? There's bunkers on eBay. There's a website called survivalrealty.com. I think there's one on there. There's a couple on a website called missilebases.com. Most of those, though, they're going to be overpriced. Like, it's way better if you can find the seller's contact information and talk to him about a reasonable price. Like, you have to really bring some market data to him, to the owner, him or her. So I think that's the first step, because you're not going to if you just go in there, you're like, oh, I'll give you this much and it's not worth more. And you're like, but you don't have any reason why. Like, the reason I got a reasonable price is because I had market numbers. I'm like, this one that was totally renovated went for slightly over the median price of a home. It was less than $400,000. So I think he was thinking $400,000 for this one, but he couldn't ask that, knowing that the other one that was fully renovated was less than that. And that's the market value. Like, what people ask is just what people ask. But because I had those numbers, I was able to get a reasonable price. Oh, thanks. The best live you've seen today. Awesome. Yeah, so it's important to know numbers. I haven't been keeping track of numbers. I haven't been in the market for another bunker. So I don't know what the most recent stuff is, but maybe the stuff that I have is the most recent stuff, right? So I had actually built up a whole comp for it because I knew what one had sold for. So I had that ready, although I didn't use it. Like, I ended up just talking to them and saying, hey, this one sold, this one was asking 190 and it's in bad shape. This other one's a little bit more than the median price of a home, and it's been fully renovated. It's got like a kitchen. It had 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, a bathroom, a shower, a second story. I mean, I think it was like almost 10,000 square feet in total. It had a sound recording studio. Like, it had been full. That's actually, you can go see that one on eBay right now. They're asking like $1.2 million right now on eBay. Anyway, I know how much it sold for. So I was able to bring him those numbers and say, here are the numbers. And then he gave us a reasonable offer and we accepted it. So I just fell in love with the space. Like, I work online. I've worked online for about 15 years. So we basically at one point just started thinking, where do we want to live, right? We could live anywhere. Where do we want to live? And bunker, for whatever reason, made to the top of the list, and we saw one and we fell in love with it. And we didn't buy that one. We almost did, but now we're renovating our own. I'm glad we're renovating our own, because we can like not do things like use wood and drywall and stuff like that. So I feel really good about that. Me and Blast from the Past make me want to bunker. It's fun. It's a fun project. It's a lot of work. I wish I had more time to work on it. Hopefully after the first week of October, I'll have more time. But I still really need to figure out monetization, like how, like maybe not monetize the bunker exactly, but I can't take money out of my business like I have been. So I have to come up with an alternative, something that's not my business. TikTok doesn't make me any money. YouTube, I can't make any money because I don't have the watch time. I don't have a ton of subscribers. I mean, I've got almost 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm grateful for everyone. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I actually started another channel before I bought the bunker, which actually got shut down. I don't know, it was something stupid. Like YouTube it's easy for YouTube to shut down small channels because no one cares when you get shut down. But we only had like 200 subscribers and we hustled to get 200 subscribers. So, for the cricket trap. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's more lethal ways of capturing crickets, but people get upset on TikTok when you show them, like, Like we actually got a community guideline takedown when we came home, and there was all these bugs. We just found like all these bugs got into our bunker somehow, and we started just like squishing them. And we did get it overruled, but you know, I don't want to upset anyone about killing bugs. But you know, if they're invading your home, what are you going to do, right? If you guys have questions though about our bunker or about our renovation, we've got a ton of people on right now, so that's awesome. Drop the nuke. I hope not. That's not why I have a bunker. I hope no one drops a nuke. We don't own a bunker because we're worried about nuclear war. We think it's an awesome space. Yeah, we did do a cricket trap a while. We've been having cricket issues, like they come in, they sneak into the little shed area up top, and then they fall down into the area down at the bottom of the stairwell, and they chirp. But it's not too bad. Like, we shut the door. I am losing weight. Thanks for noticing. I've lost since January. I've lost about 45 pounds. So I killed 25 bugs. Yeah. I think $695,000 is too much for an unrenovated bunker, personally. I mean, that's how much people ask. But what do they sell for, right? Like, that's different. We actually have a hardwired fiber optics come into the bunker. So we've got really, really good internet. We can get up to what's like the best kind of like internet? Is it like a gigahertz, a megahertz? What is it? I don't know. I forget. But anyway, that, you know, we can get really good internet. Like right now, we've got pretty good. I think we've got 100 megabits or megahertz or whatever it is. But we could get up to, I think, 10 times that. So let me see some questions. Hi from New Zealand. Hello. We get what the container looks. This is not a container. This is like a full-fledged like nuclear bunker built in the 60s by the government and AT&T. Well, AT&T didn't build it, but they ran it. So we've got about 6,000 square feet. This is it. Like I've got 16.5-foot ceilings, 6,000 square feet. It's a big renovation. We're renovating it. But it's like 2 feet of reinforced concrete. We have it's EMP shielded, so we're if there is a solar flare or even an EMP from a nuclear explosion, all of our electronics inside are protected because the whole thing is encased in a copper mesh to protect it from that. I mean, it took us 7 years, so this has been our dream. So we're excited that we're making it happen. So it can happen. We're not rich, like we're not millionaires or anything. You know, we were able to do it without having millions in the bank, and the grind of, I guess, 7 years of trying to figure it out. We finally were able to do it. Yeah, it's a cool space. It was built as a communication center, but once fiber optics was built, it wasn't needed anymore. So they sold them off in the 80s, shut them down and sold them off. Let's see, even if the big door is open, EMP protection. I don't know. I would imagine our doors should be closed to be EMP protected. No, most of the time we keep it closed. How do you make money to do this? Well, I do have my own business, but I've been spending way too much money from my business on the bunker. So I need to figure out another way to pay for my renovation, because I'm not a millionaire. Like the seller is holding our note. We put down a sizable amount at the beginning, so we did have some money from the beginning, but like not millions. I was hoping that we just pay it along and take some money out of the business and do it that way. But I'd really need to find another way to do it, because taking money out of the business, not a good idea. It's caused a few problems for me. We have a radio tower. We do have a radio tower, a 170-foot radio tower at the bunker. You can actually still see the lines coming in. I've been trying to think through maybe getting some adapters, because I was looking at the lines, and they'll take adapters that I can put on there, and I don't know, hooking something up, maybe hooking our internet up to it, or something like a internet wire, coaxial wire that goes up to our tower. I'd also love to do ham radio at some point. It's not the top of my priority list. The renovation's higher on my priority list, but I would love to do ham radio at some point. If you guys have any other questions about the bunker, the renovation, let me see what my battery's at to see if I can. I've been charging for a little while. Oh, yeah, I gotta get my gloves off. Hold on. But if you guys have questions about the renovation, about the bunker, can you explain air and water supply in an emergency? Are you self-sufficient? We're not self-sufficient. We're hooked up to grid power. I would like to change that. I'd like to do solar power. You can do solar power in a way that it doesn't need, that it's protected from an EMP burst or solar flare or something like that. We also have city water. There was at one point a well here, so I'd like to do a well again, so that I'd love to be completely self-sufficient. With air, we are right now, we've been talking to a company about getting a commercial ERV in the bunker. I don't really get claustrophobic because it's such a big space. I've got 16.5-foot ceilings here. Look, there's a door. I could build 2 stories here. So it doesn't really feel claustrophobic to me. But we've been talking to a company to get an ERV, which is an energy recovery ventilation system, and that will bring constant air in and out of the bunker. So it'll take all the stale air out and bring all the fresh new air in, and it makes it so you don't lose so much energy as you do that, right? Because if you're bringing, let's say it's hot outside and it's cool inside, you don't want to bring hot air in. And what it does is, without mixing the air, it actually transfers energy from one to the other, so that your air that's incoming, if it's hot outside, will cool down, and your air going out, if it's hot, it'll transfer that heat over to the air coming in. How much would it take to do everything you would want to do? Everything. So my thought is that it's going to take. I can do it for under $500,000. The problem is I don't have $500,000 in the bank. So, I was thinking I could just take it out of the business, but I've done that, and that's been that has not been good. I've run into some problems with that. So I run my own business. So anyway, I'm trying to think through ways of maybe paying for the renovation in other ways. We don't really need temperature control. We do heat in the winter. It'll stay, it doesn't get to freezing temperatures in here, but it'll get maybe as low as 55, 50 degrees maybe if it's really, really cold outside. And it's freezing outside, it'll be 55 inside, which isn't bad. You're not going to freeze to death, but it's not comfortable. Right? It's not like you're sitting around lounging at 50, 55. That's cold. You feel cold. So we're hoping the ERV will help with that a little bit. And we do have heaters. They're original heaters from the bunker. They're electric heaters, so they do cost. They're a little bit expensive to run. I think our bill's gotten up as high as $300. in the coldest parts of the winter. How much did our bunker cost? It was less than we paid less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which the median price of a home is between $320,000 and $330,000. We paid less than that. We've caught lots of crickets, and we've let them go. So, unfortunately, I wish they just weren't here, that I didn't have to catch them. We have a sump pump. It's a very large sump pump. It's got two horsepower. Our sump pump is the size of I keep trying to think, like, what's something equivalent that's the same size. It's basically like a 4x4, but in the round size basin, and it's got two motors, which are each 2 horsepower. So that will, whenever it rains, you'll hear that go off, and it will pump the water out of the bunker. Here's a, it's like, so we've got lots of space here. But it'll pump water outside of the bunker, so we don't have water build up at all. Thanks for the follow, guys. Let me see if I've got water build up at all. Thanks for the follow, guys. Let me see if I've got enough energy. I feel like if I click off of TikTok, oh wait, maybe if I swipe. All right, guys, although I'm getting a little choppy. If I click off of TikTok, oh wait, maybe if I swipe. All right, guys, although I'm getting a little choppy. Company that set up photo for fee for you. So I would like to do solar. The cricket trap worked well, actually. We got lots of crickets going in. Why your hair look like that? 'Cause it's fun. Like maybe that's like my answer for everything. People ask me, why did you move into a bunker? Why do you do that with your hair? I don't know, like, it's fun for me, I guess. So that's why I do it. I figure I'm 45, so like I still have hair, so I just want to enjoy it, right? I guess. How far underground are we? So there's about 4 feet of earth over top of us. We've got 2 feet of reinforced concrete ceiling, and then 16 and a half. It's a 16 and a half foot space inside. So. All right, let's do a tour. We got a lot of people joining us. So I'm going to go to, we're also decorating for Halloween, it looks like. Okay, so let me turn on. This is our entranceway. This is our blast door. You can see it's basically like a vault door. Like you've got these big, huge locks on the whole thing. So we'll open that up. This is, I think, a 2,000-pound door. I think this other side is another 1,000 pounds. So this whole door setup is a 3,000-pound blast door. This is the entrance. So when you come into the bunker, you can kind of see a platform up there. You come down like 3 sets of stairs. I'm not going to go too far in there because I don't want to lose internet. And then I've got, these are our baffles. They're like stainless steel. They're about 4 feet around, and there's some on both sides. And those open up with compressed air. The bug trap was a success. Yeah, we caught lots of crickets and let them go outside with it. So it is built to withstand a nuclear blast. As long as it should withstand a near miss, right? And people ask, well, what does that mean, near miss? It means as long as we're not in the crater, this whole place is built to withstand the nuclear fallout, right? So 2 feet of reinforced concrete should absorb basically all of the radiation, and none of it should be able to get in with 2 feet of reinforced concrete. Favorite dessert you have stored for fallout? Does popcorn count as a dessert? Because I love popcorn, It's like my favorite snack. Is that a dessert? I am vaccinated. So, but you know, I'm vaccinated, but I'm open with whatever people want to do. Like I'm very like freedom minded. So like if you don't want to get vaccinated, and I do, like, you know, I know some people don't like that idea, but like I'm all for people. Popcorn's good. Yeah, I love popcorn. It's close enough. Great. Does your blast door have a lock on it? And how do you lock the bunker? Yes, it does have a lock on it. It does have a lock. I can lock it. So when you come in, this is actually was the contamination shower, and someone tore it out for whatever reason. So you'd come in here, and then you go through this area, and there was a shower head right there, and so you'd go to the shower, and there's stuff there right now, so I'm not going to go through. You would go through the shower, which is in the middle, and then there'd be this door, which is the door you'd come out. So these two metal doors would be closed. So you have the blast door behind me, and then this small space, and then you have these doors right here. There's two double doors right here that would be closed. So you wouldn't be able to get through, even if they let you into the bunker. So you'd go into the one space, you'd go shower, get any sort of nuclear fallout off of you, and then you can come to this door, put on new clothes, and then come into the facility in case of a fallout. This right here, right after that, is our pump room. So this has our sewage ejector pump in it. This is our sewage ejector pump. It is original to the bunker. We had it refurbished, and it still works. It's got right there are the two horsepower. Oh no, not right there. That's this little switch. Right here are the two. These are 2 horsepower each. So there's a backup. We only run one right now because it only really needs one. But we keep the other one as a backup. So these are each 2 horsepower, and it will pump the sewage out into a septic tank. And then these right here, like these are like 3-inch pipes, right? And these right here are like on bearings. And I don't know if you can see that, but this whole section here is meant to be able to move, right? So like if there was a fallout, then these pipes, if they're shaking, they won't break because they're made to be able to shake and move a little bit, even if everything was shaking around. And a lot of stuff was built like that here. Like see this electrical panel here? Almost everything in the bunker is built on springs. So we have springs here on the bottom and on the top, and then everything is built with flexible conduit so that if there was a nuclear fallout and everything is shaking all around, everything was built basically to withstand that. We don't have a lot of crickets. We've caught a lot of them in our trap and put them outside so they don't chirp in our stairwell. Yes, it's almost impossible to get a home loan for a bunker. I think it's impossible. You may be able to find a small bank or someone that would do it, but it's nearly impossible. So this is our hot water heater, and it's original to the bunker. Now, normally a hot water heater only lasts 10 years, but this hot water heater is actually a silicone. I don't know if you can see it. It's a silicone copper tank, and it's 100 gallons. And silicone copper is basically like stainless steel. And we don't have hazmat suits. Maybe we should get some. It feels like if you have a bunker, you should have hazmat suits, right? I might need to get some. Let you see the crickets. We let them go. We don't have them. We let them go upstairs. I don't think there's any. I think we emptied it recently, so I don't think there's any in there right now. How much did our bunker cost? It was less than the median price of a home in the U.S. Median price in the home in the U.S. is $320,000 to $330,000. All right, I don't have a ton of battery, so I'm going to go through this quick, give us a quick tour. So this room here used to be the office space. You would come in, and we're going to build a second story here because we have 16.5-foot ceilings. We're going to put 2 bedrooms over top, and then behind me in this space, we're going to build a really large pantry. So right when you walk in the bunker, there's the blast door. To the left will be the pantry, and we'll put a door here, and then we'll put a door to the next room, which is behind all these studs. Will be the next room, and that's going to be where our kitchen is. So you'll be able to walk from the pantry, put the groceries into the pantry, and then have another door here. This space right here that I'm standing will be the dining room, and then this back corner here will be the kitchen. So we'll have a kitchen along this wall and that wall, and then we'll have a dining room right here, and then over along this wall here, we'll have like seating. So it'll be like a big open family room space. How far underground? We're not that far. Like it's like 4 feet of earth on top of us, 2 feet of concrete, and then the bunker. So about 25 feet down from the earth to where we're at down below. We do have a diesel generator. It's going to have to come out though. It's old. We even tried to sell it. Nobody wants it. It's that old. Okay, so before we were kind of turning off lights here. We turned down some of the lights in this room. But this is a 1,700 square foot room. We're just going to keep this room open. Like my daughter's sleeping in that tent right now. We've got a makeshift kitchen over there for now. But once we renovate the rest of it, where our kitchen and everything else is, this will be an open space, and it's about 1,700 square feet in this part of the bunker, and the 16.5-foot ceiling. So this room used to have a bunch of metal in it too. We took all of that metal down, like this room over here. See all that metal? This room also had that, but we got all that down, and we're working on this room to get the metal down. We've gotten some of it. Like this side has a lot less metal than the other side. Am I scared to be in the bunker alone? I'm not. I'm used to it, but the first time I slept in it, it wasn't so much that I was underground. What scared me was I've never slept in such a large space before. Because like this room is huge, right? I've never slept in such a big room. And like there's a feeling when you're in a smaller room that like you're kind of protected because you've got a wall behind you and a wall next to you, and there's like a door, right? Like if anyone's going to come out after you, they're going to come through that door, so you know where they're coming from. But when you're sleeping in an open space, like you feel just so vulnerable because there's people around you. The first few nights I was here by myself, and it was a little weird to sleep in such a large space. There's no sunlight down here. We do have 4K lights, but no sunlight in the bunker because it's nuclear. So it's any sunlight that would come in would compromise the fact that it's a nuclear bunker. How does the air filter work? So basically there's those large baffles out there, and then there's large, I'll show you guys some large nuclear filters between that and where the air comes in. So this is the engine room. Here is our diesel generator. This is coming out because this is where my office is going to be. And we're also going to build, this is all this metal and stuff. That's a muffler. That is a muffler for this generator. It's huge. It's probably like 600 pounds of muffler in our ceiling. That's got to come down because we're going to build a second story here. 2 bedrooms will go up there, and then downstairs will be my office. And then we've got a lot of electrical panels over here, so we're not really going to use that space for anything. We might cover up the electrical panels with like make it like a small electrical panel room. This is the fan room, and here are 2 huge little fans. We're using this room mostly for storage. We got a lot of stuff where we just like look at all this metal. This is the metal that's coming down out of the ceiling. We've got more metal behind the door back there. Some bunch of flexible conduits and stuff. All the stuff that we're taking down, basically. We'll scrap it eventually, but we're waiting on that just in case we need to use it for something. Okay, so somebody asked why we live in a bunker, and my best answer is just that, like, it's awesome. I just love the space. I think it's a cool space. It's not because I'm worried about the world ending. I don't believe in acting out of fear. We have 5K lights, so I don't like to answer the person's, do I feel claustrophobic without sunlight? Like 5K lights mimic sunlight. These are not those. These are still the old original fluorescent lights. But in most of the rooms, we've got 5K lights, which is kind of like full spectrum lights. Yeah, we captured a lot of crickets and let them go outside. A cruelty trap. We don't have a cruelty trap right now, so there's nothing to show you. We do not have a pet. Thanks for checking out our YouTube. We need more watch time on our YouTube channel to be monetized. So if you guys want to check out some of our renovation stuff that we've been doing, we've been trying to put a lot of our, the video that we've captured as we've been doing the renovation up on our YouTube channel. So it's Underground Living. You can see a link in our profile to go there. So please go check it out. If you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. Watch time, though, is what we really need so we can get monetized. Yes, I've seen blasts from the past. Thanks for checking out our YouTube. This is our primary residency, and we're renovating it, so that's a lot. But this is our forever home that we're turning into our forever home. Can I see the big door? Maybe we can go back. Just subscribed. Awesome. Okay, so this room, in the fan room, this is actually where they would suck in air. And these are the nuclear filters. So this is like a big, huge wall of nuclear filters. On the other side of that is our sump pump, as well. That's the pump water out, as well as the baffles that are to the stairwell. So those are the ones that are most open, that let oxygen in. So we can pull air in through here, and it all goes through that nuclear filter right there. This is actually right here is an air compressor. Two air compressors, actually. One of them works better than the other one, but they both kind of work, but one works better than the other one. So that's the fan room. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this room. Theater room, maybe? Maybe. I don't know. Still not exactly sure what we're going to do with that room. There are some baffles right here in this door right here. We did a video, if you want to go find it on our TikTok, of us opening this. Let me grab this light here. You can see how big these baffles are. So they hook up to compressed air here, and that's what will open them. So if I hook them up to the compressed air here, they'll open. And they were built like that so that if there was a fallout, the compressed air was basically on and would hold them out. But it would allow, when you shut off that compressed air, they close really fast, right? So it was made like that so that, because using compressed air allows those baffles to be closed faster than any type of mechanical means. Like if you wanted to close it with some type of mechanical system, it would be a lot slower than the compressed air. It's a spring. It closes with a spring and opens with compressed air, right? So the spring closes it and the compressed air keeps it open. Crickets are good. We've been capturing them and letting them go. How much does it cost to get a bunker? How do you find one for sale? There are lots of websites you can go to find bunkers, but they're mostly overpriced. There's a site called Missile Bases. There is I think there's one on a site called Survival Realty. I'm going to go up mezzanine. So this is the mezzanine when you come in, and you'll see this is where Joan and I have our room. I think there's a couple on eBay. The problem is convincing the owners that they're overpriced. That's your biggest hurdle, and getting money. So right now we do have a toilet. Yay! We didn't at first. We used the compost toilet. I have a sink here, and the water works on it, but the drain leaks through our roof. So I've got to rip out I got to tear down this wall, which is a huge disruption on our only bathroom. So I got to find the right time to tear down this wall, to get to the piping, to figure out like where the leak is. We honestly just don't even really, we still use like diaper wipes and stuff. And we'll get water into a bowl, use that water, and then flush the water or put the water into the toilet. So anyway, the sink works, but the drain requires a tear down, which I'm not ready to do yet. So this is where Joan and I sleep. I wasn't really planning on doing a tour, so sorry if it's a little messy. But this is the mezzanine, and here's the door. Let me show you the door that the mezzanine. So here's the door right here. We're just going to take out this door once we extend that other room to be 2 floors. We'll take out this door. This will be a hallway basically. So there will still be a room here, but there'll be a wall right where I'm at. So this will be like a hallway. You'll go to the door from this door over here, and then you'll be able to have a bedroom here, and then 2 more bedrooms over there. Yeah, we got lots of crickets. And let them outside. Honey and bread will capture crickets. They get in and they can't get out. So we did do a cricket video for those who are wondering, who didn't see that video. Yeah, I'll show the entrance again. All right. I think that's the basic tour, I think. Let me go back to the, people want to see the opening, so we'll go back to the blast door. The one thing I didn't show you guys is the escape hatch, because we have an escape hatch as well. So here's the entrance. Let me open up. This is the blast door. It's like 2,000 pound blast door. With this second side, it's like 3,000 pounds. Let me open it up. It's like a bank vault door. And then you can see here, these are the steps that you come down to get into it. So that's the only entrance that you come in, but we do have an escape hatch. Let's go to this escape hatch. So I'm just walking through here. There's the pump room. There's the mezzanine and the engine room. This is where the pantry and second story is going to be. This is where walking now through where our sort of living space, kitchen, over here, dining room back there. That's where I'm coming from back there. And then we have this blast door in the back as well, and an escape hatch. So there's a light switch here. This door's a little bit harder to open. Just maybe because we don't use it as much, or maybe I need to grease the things. I can get it, but there it goes. Okay. I know it shouldn't be that hard. In an emergency, that'd be bad. But okay, so basically we have a full stairwell here for our escape hatch that goes up to basically a horizontal door that kind of opens up and out for the escape hatch. So anyway, we've got some bikes stored in there, but it's a little dark. Let's see if we can see them. There's some bikes in there. Just it's a good place to store them. There. Okay. All right, I'm gonna close this door. All right, so that's kind of the tour and what our plans are. I gotta plug up again. How many feet down is it? We're about 25, not to the roof, but to the floor. We're about 25 feet down. How did your bunker run? What did your bunker run? Oh, how much was it? It was less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is the median price of the home in the U.S. $320,000, $330,000. It may have gone up. since I last checked.
330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330,000. 330
So we'll have 2 floors in our bunker when we're done with the renovation. How do I do comps on the bunker and know if the price is reasonable or overpriced? That's a good question. So I had them because I was in the market, and so I kind of was aware. I was following a few different bunkers. I was trying to buy a different one, so I knew how much it sold for. So when I came to this seller, I knew that actually a bunker had sold for slightly over the median price. It was less than $400,000 for a fully 90% renovated bunker. And that bunker had it had a recording studio, it had 3 bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom, shower, and it had been renovated, right? 2nd story they had built on it to have, it was almost, I think, 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. And that one sold for slightly less than 400,000. So I knew that one had sold what the market value actually was, not what the asking value is. And then there was another one I was looking at, which was in bad shape. It was bad shape, and they were asking for 190,000. It was I would not recommend paying 190,000 for it, but that's what the seller wanted. He wanted all cash, right? So I would have had to have gotten a loan for the 190,000 to pay him, because I didn't have $200,000 to pay him. Yeah, it would be good to have that recording studio. Maybe I need a recording studio. So anyway, so I knew what that one was asking, that was in bad shape, and I knew that what the other one sold for, which was less than 400,000, right? So that when we presented that when we were talking to the buyer, and I said, hey, here's what I'm looking at, and I said, this one recently sold for less than 400,000. This one, they're asking 190,000, and so he hadn't named a price yet. So he basically came to me and he said to me, well, could you do this much, right? And I thought it was a reasonable amount, and so we accepted his offer, and he wanted he wanted 60,000 down. So we did have to give him 60,000 down for the bunker. So you do have to have some money if you want to get a bunker. There are sometimes you can find someone who will do a rent to own, but generally they're going to want some sizable amount down. But you never know, right? You never know. There may be a seller out there who's like, I've been holding on to this for a long time. I just need to get rid of it. I'm desperate. So you never know. There could be someone out there who would do a rent to own offer. The only thing, honestly, holding people back is just making the phone calls, right? And that's what I did. I didn't find this bunker out there for sale. I found the locations of as many bunkers as I could, because I was looking at one bunker. I was going to buy this other bunker, the one that was renovated, and that fell through. And we were so close, and I was just and I just felt like it was going to work out. And maybe it probably did, because I like that I'm renovating this one myself. But anyway, when that happened, I guess I could have given up at that point, but that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to figure it out. I need to make this happen. And so I just started looking up all the bunkers where I could find their location. I found them in the owners in the records, county records, and I just started calling up everyone I could find, right? And some people were asking way more than I wanted to pay, and I found this guy who was at a reasonable price. Radon gas is an issue. Our radon is a little higher than I'd like it to be. Hopefully when we get our ERV, that's going to help a lot with our radon. The government sold them. So I don't think the government owns them. And in fact, I don't think the government ever owned any. I think they built it for AT&T. And they basically built it and gave it to AT&T. as an emergency kind of situation to keep the communication grid across the country working and up no matter what. So so I don't think the government owns any anymore. Back in the 80s, a company called American Tower bought a bunch of them for their towers. Some private sellers then bought them from American Tower. Some private sellers, some private owners bought them from the government back in the 80s. But now they're mostly private sellers. So, some of them are still owned by American Tower. And there may be other companies that own them out there as well. I think we emptied the Cricut box today, so I don't think there's any in there today. I think we emptied it and we have to put new bread in it, so it's not out there catching crickets right now. Yeah, but there are some websites you never know. Like one that's up on a website, they're going to ask for way too much. The better idea is to find the ones that aren't on the websites and call those owners, because those owners are open to selling. But here's the other thing is, a lot of sellers, they're used to tire kickers. So they're very skeptical of you coming in, because lots of people just want to see them. They're not really in a position to buy them. They don't have any money at all. At the very least, any specifications to buying a bunker. Well, first of all, realize most of the prices out there are way overpriced. The market of bunkers goes up and down every 10 to 15 years. We may be heading into a high price market. If people continue to be scared, if people keep worrying about the economy, if the economy keeps getting worse, if there's all sorts of bad stuff that happens and people are fearful, the prices of bunkers will go up. So the best time to buy was 2019, because if you're a time traveler, Joan says as she walks by. You almost are looking at waiting a 10-year cycle to find the best price on one. But you never know. You could find, if you just started trying to find as many bunkers as you could, where are the locations of all the AT&T bunkers that you know of, you may find a motivated seller, someone who's just these places get vandalized. People are and that just means the value goes down. That's why I say they're horrible to have as bug out locations, because you don't know if someone's broken into one, if they vandalized it, whatever, right? Maybe you didn't lock your door or whatever, and they got in. So our bunker cost less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is $320,000 to $330,000. But a lot of places are asking $500,000, $1.2 million. There's one on eBay, $1.2 million. But that one's renovated. But that's the one that sold for less than $400,000. So I think I wouldn't pay that much. We have fiber optics come into our bunker. Where the old phone line came in, we had it trenched up and fiber optic line put in to replace the phone line that was in there before. Because this was a communication bunker, so there was a phone line that came in. So I think $300,000 is a good price right now for an unrenovated bunker. If it's in really bad shape, I think it could potentially, market value might be more around $100,000 to $150,000. If it's in really bad shape, you may be able to get one, but you have to convince the seller. That's the hard part. I think what I'm saying, those are the market values, but the hard part is convincing the seller that they should accept that amount. And what they'll argue is, well, look, it cost the government $2 million in the 60s to build this. That means it's worth $30 million after inflation today. But the counter argument to that is, well, look, if a company built a factory in the 60s for $2 million. That doesn't mean it's worth $30 million or even $2 million today. Like, it's old, it's run down, it needs renovation, it needs like to be turned into something. Like, there's the cost of renovating and everything. So it's not worth what it cost to build, several decades ago. So, again, what I'm telling you guys is what I think the market value is. Now, convincing the seller of that is the harder part. You have to, look, there's concrete degradates over years. Like, it doesn't last forever. So there's all sorts of counter arguments on why the market value is less. Also, like I said, about 2 years ago, the one I was watching, which is now on eBay for $1.2 million, that one sold for less than $400,000, right? And that was renovated. That was one that was renovated. 4 bedrooms, kitchen, about 90% of it was renovated, and it sold for less than $400,000, right? And the buyer put down about $150,000 as a down payment. So this is one of the issues. Like, if you really want to get one, a lot of sellers are going to ask for a sizable down payment, right? Because you can't get a bank loan for them. And at the very least, they want a sizable down payment, and then they might consider holding the note. But if you don't have a heavy down payment, there's no incentive to them holding the note for you. Yep. Yeah, I have my GTA bunker. Time for a heist, right? So we're only about 4 feet underground, but we have 2 feet of reinforced concrete under that, and then 16 and a half feet to where the floor is. So we have 16 and a half foot ceiling. So it's a big space. So yeah, about 25 feet from the top of the ground to where the bottom of our ground. So where I am at is about 25 feet down. But where there's not 25 feet above my bunker. Just to be clear. There's only about 3 sets of stairs to come down into the bunker. Why do I live in a bunker? Because it's awesome, and if I'm renovating it into my home, and if I didn't live in it, I'd have to rent a place and pay my bunker payments, and that's too much money. I don't want to spend that. I'd rather live in it while I renovate it. But why do I want it? Why do I want to live in a bunker? I just think because it's awesome. It's an awesome space. It is nuclear hardened. Yeah, 2 feet. So the most 2 feet of concrete will keep out the worst of all nuclear particles. Now, if I got hit by the blast, that's why they say like they were built to withstand a near miss. Because if I'm in the crater, I'm not surviving. And that's true with most bunkers. Even if I was 20 feet down, if I was hit directly, that crater would be deep enough, even 25 feet down, to kill me, right? But if there is a nuclear fallout, 2 feet of reinforced concrete will keep out all of the worst nuclear particles. So many projects to finish. So many. It's going to take years. It's going to take years for us to do it. There are other bunkers. They were usually built about 2 hours driving apart from each other. So if I drove 2 hours in 2 different directions, there are other bunkers. I'm in there's different lines that they made for the communication lines. I'm in what's called the L3 line. So there are bunkers along the L3 lines about 2 hours apart. But there were other lines. There's an L4 and an L5 line. I guess an L1 and L2 line as well. I'm in the L3. So my line, it sort of goes from the northeast to the southwest. Yep, got the Johnny Bravo, Jimmy Neutron hair. That's right. How much the annual taxes? Taxes are about $2,000. right? I have heard some people in some places that they get away with like a couple $100 in taxes because of the way that the taxes are done. They only count what's above ground, and that's the way it should be done here. But unfortunately, where I live, the tax person has a lot of leeway, and they've got multiple ways of doing taxes. So they do our taxes in a way that brings it up to maybe it's 4,000. Might be 4,000 in taxes. I think it might be 4,000. Sorry, I think my payments are 2,000 each, and there's twice a year. Our neighbors are mostly there's farmland around us, so there's like fields. Like if you go far enough, I guess there's neighbors after the cows, fields and then cows. But there's a good distance between us and neighbors. No, well, I think our taxes are based on the cost of what it was to build minus like appreciation, right? So like they have some calculation where I think that's how my taxes are determined. They have some calculation because there's no other places like this in the county, right? They have some calculation where they're like, well, this is how much it cost, and then we're going to take away like how old it is and depreciate it, and so that's why it's $4,000. We're in the central U.S. We have 13 acres of land. So I think a lot of people are jumping off, but if you guys have any more questions for me, I know it's about 9 o'clock, but if you guys have more questions, I'll answer them about our bunker. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping on with me and asking great questions. Cricket trap is good. We need to put some new bread in it, so it worked well. I think we did a follow-up video where we released some crickets, and we've done that a couple times. There are a few places you can find bunkers for sale, but usually they're overpriced. Survival Realty, I think, has one. survivalrealty.com. There's a site called missilebases.com, which has some. You can see a couple on eBay. We bought this one. So this one was one of the AT&T facilities built in the 60s by the government. It was a communication bunker. We have a 170-foot tower outside, and 16.5-foot ceiling. So it's a great space, but we did not build it. This was already here. You get a homestead exemption. Our place is zoned. Hey, Celeste, how's it going? Our place is zoned residential. It's like an ag residential. Like I think anything over 5 acres. Hey.
Hey,
there's Joan.
Just come and say hi.
Anything over 5 acres is considered agricultural in our area, but we also live in an unincorporated area, so like we don't have to get anything inspected. I mean, if we build anything new outside, we have to get permits from the county. But other than that, we don't have any codes or anything that we. What we do inside is that they don't care. Basically, or they don't track it. At least they let us do what we want. So we just have normal beds, nothing too fancy, like Sleep Number or Tempur-Pedic or.
We have like an IKEA bunk bed.
Yeah, although we don't use the IKEA mattress on that. No. Just some mattresses we bought at the mattress store. I think we've done a video that has the tower in it. If I do that, I had to come back and plug in because I was running out of battery. The crickets are good. We've let them go several times.
Yeah, and it's getting colder, so
There's fewer crickets
Fewer crickets.
because it's cold. It is a real. Is it a real nuclear bunker you got at auction? No. It is a real nuclear bunker. We did not get it at auction. We bought it from the seller. It's mostly seller financed, although we had a large down payment. So.
Well, the crickets are seasonal, so feel free to come back next cricket season.
Next cricket season, yeah, there are fewer crickets now that it's getting colder, for sure. Yeah, so those are some places you can go and find bunkers for sale, but I think the best place is to find them that aren't for sale and find out where they're located and call the owners and just pick up the phone and call as many people that you can find the county records. That's what I did. That's how I found this one and this owner. Found the county records, and I had the contact information for the owner, and I called him and said, hey, are you looking to sell your bunker? And he said yes. And we were going to go see another one, so we just added it to our trip, and we liked this one way better than the other one. The other one was in bad shape. So why the hair?
Well, before that, there was a question.
Are they
about
talking
snakes.
to you? You don't know. Okay, no, they're probably talking to me.
Yeah. But let me answer the snake question really fast.
There's a snake. What was the snake question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, do we have snakes? So we moved in last summer, and I was surprised actually not to see any snakes. But then this year, evidently they come out more in the spring, late spring. We saw some, but over like a week, and then they were all gone. So
well, at least we didn't see any more.
Yeah, like maybe they come out and then they're like, "Ooh, these are not safe places to be," and they go find safe places to be. I don't know. So just enough to know.
Not inside the bunker.
No.
Outside.
Yeah, outside, like by the side of the road or something. We're like, "Oh, look, a snake!" But then they went away.
We don't grow our own food yet. We don't eat meat, so we don't really have livestock either. I don't know if we will. Maybe I'd like something that makes milk. I do. I'm not vegan.
Okay, now
so
answer your hair question.
Oh, hair question. Well, I'm not young, and I'm not balding yet, so I figure have fun while you still have hair, right? Who knows how long that will last. So as long as no snakes in the bunker. As long as I still have hair, I just want to enjoy it, right? Hey, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sharing the adventure with us, because it makes it more fun to share it with you guys. So the hair, I think I just answered that. Hopefully you're on. Are you expecting a nuclear... I'm not expecting a nuclear explosion. I hope not. I just think a bunker is awesome. I think it's an awesome space. I think if we didn't buy the space, it would have been lost to time and decay, and that would have been a travesty, because it's an amazing space. And we never have to buy a new roof. We never have to replace our windows. But we are in a bit of a bind when the power goes out. That's why we need solar. That wasn't supposed to say that word. It was supposed to say something about having 16 and a half foot ceilings, not 62 foot ceilings. How do you live in the bunker without seeing the sun? Well, we go outside. That's the best solution to that. How much does it cost? It costs less than the median price of a home in the U.S. Median price of a home in the U.S., at least last time I checked, was $320,000 to $330,000. So what's in the bunker? Like, we're just renovating it. Whereas like all of our stuff is in the bunker right now, and our renovation stuff. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're happily married.
Yes. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so.
They said we're a cute couple.
Aww.
Yeah, 16 and a half foot ceilings. Yep. How are the heating costs? So, in the coldest part of the winter, I think they got up to 300.
Like electric?
Yeah.
Got up to 500.
Oh. Okay, I've been telling people 300. Okay, so we have had some expensive. No, not in the summer. We don't heat in the summer.
No, but we had those fans going, and we turned on all these dehumidifiers and stuff. The most our electric bill has been a little over 500, and then the least it's been is about 200, a little over 200.
Okay.
So it's fluctuated 300.
Yeah, we do run dehumidifiers pretty much all the time, and they're just the normal ones. So like they
suck up a lot of energy. We want to get a whole house dehumidifier eventually. What I'm saying is you can build second floors in there yep. Well, there is already a second floor. There's a mezzanine. There's some steps over there. There's a door that falls into this room. And we are going to build a second floor here. So there'll be 2 bedrooms above this room, and then behind me on the bottom floor will be a large pantry. So I just did a tour, and I just went over everything. So humidity isn't too bad. We usually keep it around 55 or so.
Better.
But it's because we run dehumidifiers all the time. So our temperature right now, do you have your app for our sensor?
Yeah, it got up as high as 73 in the summer, but I think it's coming back down. I think we're at 72.
Cricket trap is good. It's working well. There's fewer crickets though, that's because it's getting colder. Yeah, so we are planning on building a second floor not for the whole thing, not for all 6,000 square feet, but just for parts of it. We want to keep a lot of it open. We're not trying to keep our state secret. We're just not making it public. So, because I know some people know. So,
Yeah, some people
we have
here-
some followers who are in the area,
Yeah.
so they know
They know.
what state we're in. So it's not like we're just not
Not
make it
publicizing
public. Yeah. Let's see, questions. What's all that noise? That's the room next to us has the dryer going.
I waited hours for.
I've been on for a long time
I was
today.
I'll just wait, and I'm I really have to dry my clothes, so sorry about that.
Yeah, I'd like to go completely electric. And something that's kind of cool, if you want something to look into, if you like kind of solar power ideas, something I've been looking into is actually heating your hot water tank with direct from solar power. You hook your solar panels right up to your heating elements in your hot water heater, and what you do is you overheat it, you make it so it stores energy, so basically it becomes like a large battery, and it holds all that heat energy in it. And I haven't seen anyone else do this, but here's my idea: is I want to take it's called a thermal valve. Basically, it's like a thermal mixing valve. That's what it's called, a thermal mixing valve. And what it'll do is if you keep your hot water tank, let's say you keep your hot water tank at 170 degrees. Well, that's really dangerous because you can burn yourself from that temperature of water, right? So this thermal mixing valve will mix cold and hot water together to make sure that it comes out at 120, which is the recommended temperature. But you can heat your actual tank up to 150, 160 degrees, right? And so if I hook up my heating elements right to photovoltaic cells, I keep it above, let's say it's at 160, right? So it's at 160, and then it's going to cool down at night until the sun comes back out. But hopefully it doesn't cool down past 120. So we still have hot water. And then the next day it starts to heat up again because of the solar panels. And you can always put in a backup, hook it back up to electricity or something like that, but or to batteries or something along those lines. But you could hook solar panels right up. There's some videos on YouTube of people hooking up solar panels right to hot water, to their hot water tanks. But none of them have added a mixing valve. So I think the mixing valve is that missing piece because you need to superheat it. You need to keep it at a super high temperature, and then hopefully then it doesn't come down below 120. Even if it comes down a little bit below 120, it's not a big deal, but it's still pretty warm. And then you always have hot water. And the most, here's why this is important. And I forgot to say this, sorry, is because the most expensive part of your solar system is your batteries. So if you can cut out batteries for storing energy, and I can store the energy in the hot water tank, then that's way cheaper to buy a mixing valve. I think a mixing valve is like $100, maybe $150. I can superheat my hot water tank. It's a very sturdy hot water tank, but I can superheat that, have the mixing valve in there, so it won't scald anyone, and heat directly from photovoltaic things. I could do that probably pretty cheaply because I can get used solar panels. There's a website that sells used solar panels. You can get them as like 250 kilowatt solar panel that's used for like 200, like for $50. We did not build the bunker; we bought it.
And the cricket trap.
I have lost weight. I've lost about 45 pounds since January. So
Thanks for noticing.
yeah. I've been doing alternative day fasting lately. So at the beginning of January, I've been losing weight. I kind of plateaued for a while. And then the last month, I've been doing alternative day fasting, and it's been working well for me. Yeah, I bought it from a private seller. Cricket trap worked. We do feel pretty safe down here. My question was just that good. Yeah. So if I missed your question, I'm sorry. Please ask it again. Cricket trap was good. Yeah, 500,000 I think is too much for a bunker. We paid less than 300.
We considered paying that much.
I mean, we
we
paid
learned more.
Yeah. I mean less than 400.
Thanks, it is super cool in here.
Yeah, the temperature is actually really nice in the bunker. I mean, the max it gets is 75, I think, ever. And we're planning on insulating it.
Well,
Once we
that's
insulate,
when it was like 106 outside.
once we insulate the walls and get our ERV system set up, it's going to be the temperature is going to be really nice down here, I think. Do you all have plans of putting solar panels? Yes, we'd like solar panels. Sound absorbing panels. Yes. Yeah, sorry, because we're renovating these rooms. They're very open and echoey.
Yeah. Yeah, and once we put more stuff in these rooms too.
That is true. Even our biggest room, like that was super echoey, but now that we have stuff in it, it doesn't echo nearly as much.
Well, and a wall.
Why are my videos unorganized? How do I organize my videos? Is there a way to organize your videos on TikTok? I mean, I guess I do have some that are in like playlists and stuff.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We could do playlists. Recommend categories for playlists.
Yeah. But ours was seller finance. We put $60,000 down. So you will have to have, if you want to get a bunker. Now, you know what? You may be able to find someone who's a motivated seller. You may be able to, if you just find the bunkers and look up the people. I think that's what it comes down to. If you find the bunkers and look up the people and just call them and say, "Are you interested in selling?" I think you may be able, someone out there may be able to find a more motivated seller that would maybe even do it for for sale by owner, finance with a low down payment. I mean, I'm just saying what we did. Chances are they're going to want at least a sizable down payment, $50,000 minimum. But I don't know. You may be able to find someone who won't require that. Yeah, you know what? Last year we didn't have any issues. We had some issues with crickets, but not as bad as this year. I think what happened is there was like a week where we kept the outside light on, and we ended up attracting a bunch of crickets.
Yeah.
And
they called to all their friends.
Yeah, they called all their friends over. And
last year we had a bigger problem with flies, which we don't have this year.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Maybe every year it gets better.
Yeah, they're not in the bunker. Last year we had a few get in the bunker. And those drove us crazy because
this year we shut the door.
Yeah, we've kept the blast door closed.
Let's see, other questions. What's the hatch look like when you go shopping? Where do you park your car? The escape hatch is just kind of like a horizontal, like 2 horizontal doors that open up. Where do I park my car? Like outside here, we don't have a carport or a garage. We just park it outside. We're a little bit worried about like hail and stuff. So we've got 4K lights. They mimic sunlight, so we're pretty happy with those. And we have 13 acres. We go outside. Currently fearing for your life after hearing chains drop and footsteps through the backyard. Oh no. Lock the doors. Hello from Indiana. Hello. Like the basement doors. Like a basement door, sort of, but it's not like usually basement doors are more like horizontal. These are, well, they are at an angle, but they're bigger. They're like much bigger, like our escape hatch doors. They open straight. They open more straight up. But they're at an angle. They're at an angle, like they're at a pitch, yeah, and then they come together like that, yeah, like a little roof, and then they open like that. Yeah, so our cars are just parked near the doors. So unlike the GTA bunkers, we can't drive our car into this bunker.
I know, that'd be really cool though. That'd be really nice.
You know what I'd love to do is I'd love to build an earth dome garage. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, we do need some security system. No, that sound wasn't from us. That was somebody else who said that. I own a survival supply company. We specialize in fulfilling supply orders for underground bunkers. All right. Well, let us know. Jimmy Neutron grew up. That's right. Except I've never grown up. That's the that's the one thing. Never grew up. I live in a bunker, so. Cricket trap worked really well. Bread and honey works good. Molasses works good too. They really like molasses. Our bunker costs less than the median price of a home in the U.S., which is $320,000 to $330,000 is the median. Last time I checked. It might be more now. I don't know. The sound is the dryer echoing in the background. Sorry about that. These rooms are really echoey because they're under renovation. Turn to Christ. Agreed. How long have you lived in the bunker? About a year, a little bit over a year. We have fiber optic actually come in. And the company was amazing. They came in, they trenched the fiber optic cable up through the back of the bunker, brought it in, brought the fiber optic cable to the front of the bunker, and they were amazing. So we've got really great internet down here. I don't know if I missed anyone else's questions. I'm at the bottom of the list, so if I missed it, please ask again. I'm happy to answer your questions if you have any. Or if you don't, we can call it a night as well. So just let me know. You guys have had great questions. How tall is the bunker? We've got 16.5-foot ceilings, 2 feet of reinforced concrete above that. We can get... So... is like the high speed, like the best fiber optic, is that like a gigahertz or is that like a megahertz? I think it's a megahertz, right? Is like your best fiber optic speed. Whatever that is, we can get it if we want. We don't have that. We've got something lower than that. I think, but if we need it, we can get that. Do you have room for an extra family of 3? Technically, yes. We're not off the grid yet. We want to get off the grid. We're connected to electricity. We're connected to city water. We do have a septic system, which seems to be working really well. Because if you stick something down there and smell it, it doesn't smell bad.
Is that our septic clean out guy?
No, we need some security system. It's not a silo. It's actually it is
it's a communication bunker. They're one of the best. I think they are one of the best. But in fact, if you go to my profile, some of the videos I have up there is if you want to buy a bunker and all the options for it, right? And
This guy with big old gas mask on.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5 of them. And so it talks about the different types of bunkers you can have. This is an AT&T communication bunker. In there I talked about silos, and I talk about why I think this one is the best one to buy. Although Titans aren't so bad either. And they're big. They're bigger. We don't have hydroponics. But yeah, Joan wants to. Yeah, so it's all concrete, 2 feet of reinforced concrete, plus it's EMP shielded. We've got a whole copper mesh surrounding the whole bunker. So it's EMP shielded in case of a nuclear EMP or a solar flare even. All of our electronics are safe in here. 70-year-old Tom Brady, hope not.
I think someone asked earlier, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 45.
Me too.
Yeah, we're 45. So yeah, it's a communication bunker. Send directions. Is that I think that's the person who asked us if we have room for a family of 3. How did you buy it? So we did seller finance. So the seller owned it, and we're paying him monthly, and we gave him a sizable down payment. So geothermal, I've looked into geothermal. It's expensive. I have looked at cheaper options for geothermal. I'm thinking about it. My biggest concern about geothermal is drilling a hole through our walls. Like I worry about it potentially messing up the integrity of my nuclear bunker or EMP shielding or something. Like maybe there's already a hole somewhere that we could do geothermal, like those ones that are up there already. Crickets have been there haven't been so many crickets because it's been getting colder. Yes, Jimmy Neutron, but I'm haven't grown up.
Yes,
so.
we have kids.
We do have kids. We've geothermal would be cool, but like my concern is drilling that hole. Like that seems like very drastic to me. I like the fact that
It would mess up our EMP shielding.
potentially, I don't know if it would, but but there's no way to test that.
Well, yeah, and just to, I don't know, to drill through our walls and then potential like leakage. I don't know. Like I don't want to mess up.
Yeah, I mean geothermal's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
geothermal really isn't like a power source. It's more of a
Heating, cooling, right?
it's more of an efficiency. Like it's more efficient. You still need electricity. It's not going to generate electricity. I mean, unless you dig really deep, but we're not going to do that. But anyway, it makes it more efficient. So we still need electricity. So we still would have to have some type of solar panel. We did just do a tour, and my battery was dying, so I had to come and plug in my phone.
It's plugged up.
Yeah, our kids are here. 3 of them live in the bunker with us. The older one is 20 years old. But she may come back for a while. She may come back and we might build a tiny house for her. So our heating bill at most is $500 and at least is $200.
Depending on the time of year.
Yeah. But once we insulate, we're going to insulate the whole place, so it'll be better once we do that. How does the electrical grounding go? I don't know. I mean, they built something into it, but I'd have to. I do have a grounding wire over in this room that like comes to like a copper bar or something. There's like wires that come out through the bunker. But it's a big space, so it's a big space to. But we don't really have to cool, but we do dehumidify like all the time. Like we're always running our dehumidifiers. We don't have radioactive like hazmat suits or anything, but it seems like we should. If we live in a bunker, doesn't it seem like we should have a hazmat suit? It does. At some point I should get some. Self-composting waste, incineration. like we just have a flushing toilet, and then we have a septic tank outside and a sewage ejector pump that pumps it out. We also have used a composting toilet. So bunker tour. I just don't know if I have enough battery to do another tour. I did one a little bit earlier. Oh yeah, okay. So from where I'm sitting, this is the blast door that you come in when you walk in. This room, it goes to the decontamination shower. There's actually another door on the other side of this double door, which you go into that door, and then you go into the decontamination shower, which someone took out. We're gonna put that back in, and then you come out this door and get new clothes on, because usually your clothes are contaminated. Then immediately to your right is a stairwell that goes up to the mezzanine. So there's a mezzanine up here, a second level. And then to your left here is the pump room. So then there's the pump room. Also to your right, past the stairwell and around this pillar, is where the engine room is. And that's like a medium, that's like one of our smallest, biggest rooms. So there's 4 big rooms in the bunker. That's the smallest one. Then there's this one, the entranceway, which is the second smallest one. We're going to build a second floor on there from that mezzanine door. So we're going to build a second story here. We're going to build a pantry on the bottom floor and 2 bedrooms with their own bath above that. Then we tore down this drywall here because it was, well, we didn't know it was moldy, but we knew it could potentially be moldy, and it was. So we're really happy we took down all this drywall to where this metal scaffold, where this metal studs are. But in that other room over there, we're gonna put a kitchen in the back corner there. Over on this side, we're gonna have like seating and stuff. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a door to the pantry that's here. So once you come in the bunker, you'll turn left and you'll go to the pantry. And then there'll be another door that'll go into the next room, which will be right by where the dining room is. And then from there, right after that, will be the kitchen. How long did it take to adjust psychologically to living underground? Just a few days, I would say. I think it wasn't so much about underground as much as it was about, I've never lived in such large spaces before. Right? Like it's psychologically, that's a little weird, because I think when you sleep in a small room, you feel protected by the walls around you. And when you sleep in a very open room, it was a little bit creepy at first. We have a 170-foot tower outside because it was a communication bunker. And we've got wiring that connects to that. So welcome everyone. Thanks so much for following us. We appreciate you guys joining us on our journey. I'd like to build an earth shelter garage, like basically have it be like earth, concrete and earth over top of it, south facing, so it collects some sun, and it'll be pretty protected. Okay, but anyway, back to the from my chair tour. If you go to the end of that room and you turn right over there, that's our rec room. That's our largest room. It's 1,700 square feet in that one room. So it's a big room. That's where we have almost all of our stuff, because we're renovating the other parts. See all this metal. And all this metal, we got to get all this metal down out of the ceiling. It's not structural. It was just there to help stabilize the equipment that used to be here and hold the lights and stuff like that. We're taking all that down. We took that down in the rec room. And we can't build a second story unless we take all that stuff down. So we got to take all that down. We don't have too many issues with air filtration. So we've got filters up at the top of the stairwell, and we have nuclear filters at the bottom, past the baffles, on the other side of the baffles. We've got large, like 4-foot round stainless steel baffles that open up with compressed air. and they let air in, and we just have them open all the time. Why am I not using underground current for power? I don't know if you can get enough power to power this place from underground current. Like a potato battery. I don't know if I can get that much. If you know how to get that much power for this kind of place, just from grounding, then hit me up. I'd love to know it. Send me some links. We don't have solar panels yet, no, but we do want to get solar panels. Thanks for the follow, guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys. We also have a YouTube channel for those who are new. If you go to our profile, you'll see our YouTube channel, and we're editing a lot of our past footage that we took of like the renovation process. So you can catch up over there. We have a part 2 coming to the last video soon. Talk to the kid on here with the homemade Tesla coil. Yeah, I mean, I know that there are rumors that Tesla built a tower that had produced free energy. I don't know of anyone that's been able to recreate that. I mean, Tesla coil doesn't create energy. It just, it's more like, it does some cool stuff, but it doesn't make energy. Cricket problem has been getting a lot better. We've been capturing some, and also it's been getting colder, so I think there's been fewer crickets. So that's been good. Thanks for following us, guys. Again, like right now on YouTube, we have enough subscribers. We have, I think, over 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. So we could get monetized. We just don't have enough watch time. So if you want to see more of our renovation, we'd love to have you go and check those out on our YouTube channel, because we need more people watching our videos so that we can get monetized on there. Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we think it's fun. We think it's a fun project. We appreciate you guys joining us for it. All right. Just thought that since you have the tower you mentioned, why not lease it for extra income? Okay. Well, okay, so the person who sold it to me said that there was a lease on that tower and that it had expired. So, but I called the company that was supposedly leasing it. I don't think they were paying anything to lease it. I think it was part of the seller agreement that they were supposed to be able to have access to it for like 10 years, and that had expired. That's what the seller told me. But then I called that company, and they're like, no, and we can't release the information to you until you send us all this information, and I haven't done that yet. So I need to figure that out, because I could potentially lease it, but who knows? I mean, sometimes tower leases are a couple $100, sometimes they're more, but it just depends. I don't really know how to lease things, but towers, but I know it can be done. But I need to get that all straightened out, so I'm still working on that. We've caught lots of crickets and released them, and there's been fewer crickets, I think, just because of the weather's been getting colder. We are living the dream. Thanks so much for subscribing and following us, guys. I appreciate it. So I work online. So I've got a company, and we do websites, and we make templates, and we do online marketing for other companies. So I basically, for like the last 15 years, have worked from home. But we have, anyway, that's been our MO for a while. I need website work all the time, yeah. Now we do have a product that we make. We do templates. We do we've got a product that we're actually about to have version 2 come out pretty soon with all new niches that we do. Basically instant install websites. So you can say, oh, I want a lawyer website, and then you can go to our templates and say, okay, so install this lawyer website for us. And we sell it really cheap. It's called Local Sites Go, in case you're interested. Just an easy way to launch a brand new website for someone, when they can't afford a more expensive website, that you can do a quick website for them. Anyway, that's one of my things. ZenCart, I don't use ZenCart too much. Mostly we do WordPress, and then so we use WooCommerce. I have tinkered with ZenCart a little bit, but mostly WordPress. That's our wheelhouse, I would say. So, all right, guys. If there's no other questions, I think I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys just your questions, your interaction, your follow. You guys are just awesome. You guys help me and inspire me to sometimes, when I don't feel like doing anything, to do a video for you guys, because I know you guys are out there. WordPress can be a little bit more difficult to learn. That is true. Although you can get things that make it simpler. You can get admin templates, which make it simpler if you want. So, but I won't disagree with you on that point. So, awesome, guys. So I did do a tour. I'm gonna see if maybe I can post this up on my YouTube once I sign off. Well, it's gonna probably take a little while to render, but this has been a long cast. I did do a tour already a couple times, but I'll do another one at some point on another live. But guys, thanks so much for joining. Unfortunately, I'm charging my battery because I don't think I can do another tour because my phone will probably die. Keep it going. Thanks. Living the dream. That's right. We are living the dream. It's a little funny because I've had people say, well, I'm glad it's your dream, not mine, because it's a lot of work. It's a big undertaking, but I do enjoy it. I do love it. And I appreciate you guys following us on the journey. So thanks so much, guys. Have a great weekend. Honest opinion. How is it honest opinion? I don't know. I think I just said I loved it. That's honest. I always try to be honest. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. I'll try to get this posted on YouTube so you can go back. I answer a lot of questions on here, so you can go back and see some of those. Sell your house and buy a bunker. Yeah, you just have to find the right seller. That's what it comes down to, finding the right seller. You could maybe even find a better seller than I did. Someone who's really motivated. If you want to make it happen, I'm thoroughly convinced that it can happen, because I'm not rich. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank. I'm trying to figure out how I can stop taking money out of my business to renovate the bunker. So I'm kind of trying to brainstorm through that. But hey, guys, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining me. I will talk to you guys later on. Okay, signing off. Good night.